Good evening and welcome to Solent Sports News. My name is Sam Barnett and I'll be presenting tonight's programme full of the finest football across the continent. And unlike certain other national TV programmes, I'm joined by some wonderful panellists with me to enjoy tonight's entertainment. We have Ollie Howard, who will be covering Middlesbrough as they take on Stoke City in the Championship. Tom Goward, who will be watching Notts County versus Eastleigh in a fight for a playoff place. And in the Champions League, we have Reece Barrett, who'll be watching Man City versus RB Leipzig, and finally, Kai McKenzie, who'll be covering FC Porto as they take on Inter Milan. How are we doing tonight, guys?
Yeah, good.
Ready for a good night of football?
Definitely.
Some fantastic games on tonight. We also have reporters out across the nation with us today. Not only just in the nation, but also across the channel, as reporter Joshua Stewart is in Paris this evening watching Paris FC take on Amiens in a Ligue 2 clash. The game kicked off at 6 p.m. our time, so we should be coming into the closing part of the game. Let's catch up with Josh on what's happened. Hi, Josh. Don't seem to happen.
Here are lighting the stars. They have been on top form all game. They scored the first goal in the 13th minute as Cyril Landuki headed in from a rebound. Vincent de Marcanet, the goalkeeper, was called upon multiple times as Amiens tried to claw their way back into it. Before just after the half-time break on the 47th minute mark, Julian Lopez scored the second for Paris FC after slotting into the bottom corner for just 6 yards out.
I just can't hear him.
With 20 minutes to go, it's still Paris 2, Amiens 0.
Lovely, thank you, Josh. It seems like it could be a good atmosphere there in Paris. We're also joined with Owen Huggins, who will be covering Millwall against Swansea live from the Den. We go to Owen now. Owen, you there?
Hi, my name's James Regan and I'm at Bristol Rovers. Bristol Rovers actually come into this game with quite good form. They're unbeaten in their last 3 games. They'll hope striker Aaron Collins can bring his fine form into this match. He's the top contributor in the league with 26 contributions, 15 goals, 11 assists. It's Matthew Bloomfield's 5th game in charge for Wycombe Wanderers. He's only picked up 4 points in 4 games since Gareth Ainsworth's recent departure for QPR. A win here would really boost Wycombe's playoff chances. So we'll see. It should be a good game.
Sorry about that, James. Came up with Owen on the auto cue, but that's all good. Anyway, we're staying. Anyway, in the lower leagues, we have Luke Buckle, who's watching Poole Town take on Merthyr Town on the coast. Luke, you there? Okay. Well, at the moment, it seems we've got Emma, who is currently right now at Romsey Town versus Hamble FC. Because with football growing in popularity in North America, she's an exchange student from Canada who joins us this evening for Romsey taking on Hamble in the quarterfinals of the Russell Coates Cup. This is Emma's first time experiencing football in a game in England. So let's go over and see how she's enjoying it. Hi, Emma.
Hi. Hi, Sam.
Well,
including our...
How's the experience been over at... Oh, we've lost her. Technical difficulties across the nation and across the channel this evening, as it seems. We'll have a little talk with the panel while they're trying to sort everything out at the moment. So guys, we've got some good games this evening, some great games.
Some really good games. Obviously, I'm watching Manchester City versus Leipzig tonight, and I feel very lucky. 2 massive teams. It's 1-0 at the moment. This one's at the Etihad, of course, played in Germany. It was a draw. So this is a straight shootout at the end of the day. This is a 90 minutes. Of course, it could be more if we go into extra time, but it's 90 minutes of just straight action. Both teams are going to want to take it. Both teams are going to grab it by the throat, I guess, this game. The 2 attacking teams. Personally, I think Manchester City are probably my favourite team in the world to watch. And of course, they've got the best striker in the world, Erling Haaland as well, sorry. So as long as we can see a Haaland goal, I'm going to go home happy.
I don't know about that one. Oof, yeah, I don't know about that one either. But I mean, I do have a little bit of bias. I have a little bit of bias being a Spurs fan. Did you know the win would equal Arsenal's record of 24 successive home matches unbeaten in the Champions League, which is crazy. So,
but Leipzig also unbeaten in 5 Champions League games. They beat Mönchengladbach at the weekend. They're in good form as well. Not so great as an away team, and of course they're missing a couple of players through injury, which we will talk about later on. But should be a good game either way.
Obviously, Kai, you're covering FC Porto versus Inter Milan. Should be a decent game.
I'm looking forward to it. It feels a bit of a David versus Goliath fixture right now. You know, you look at the names on that into the side. You know, Martinez, Mkhitaryan, Barella, Bastoni. They're big names in the world of football compared to, you know, you've got Taremi, who's no disrespect to Taremi. He's not a Lukaku. He's not a Martinez. He's not a Dzeko. But it should be a really interesting tie. Let's hope so. Anyway, a couple of goals in it, and I just see Porto edging it.
Okay. I've just heard that we can actually now hear from Emma, who is at Romsey Town versus Hamble FC, to talk about her experience at her first ever English football game. Emma.
Hi, Sam. I just wanted to, well, of the 3 people here, for my team, we have exactly 1 more fan in the audience. And so I just want to give a shout out to the lovely woman in the stands reading her book. So that's very exciting. We also learned that the current manager is newly back from a time away as he failed to get the team into the Premier League. We were chatting with some of the fans in the bar area earlier, and that was the news I picked up. Other than that, my hands are a bit cold, but my Canadian spirit is sticking through.
What's the experience been like? Are you kind of looking forward to tonight's game?
I am looking forward to it. I'm a bit excited to see what happens, especially be so close to the players. They were warming up, and there were some words that I've never really heard before being shouted, and a game of keep away, which I thought was a strange warm-up choice, but I'm excited to see how the rest of the game goes.
No, obviously this is one of the non-league, one of the lower league kind of games in the UK. Obviously, there's nothing probably really like this in Canada. So, how do you experience this from kind of like a Canadian kind of sports kind of event? Maybe on a smaller scale, obviously, because it's not anything like the NHL or the CFL or anything like that.
No, definitely not. The only similarity will be the temperature. It's actually quite warmer here than normally at home. But other than that, to be so close to the players is, again, just a change. And then also to be in such a small-scale town as well, but still playing. I know that you think it's small-scale game, but to me it feels like they're just the same as everyone else because they kind of have the chance to be in the higher league. So that's definitely interesting. Like, obviously, I'm aware that if they win tonight, that's not a huge deal. But I'm still excited to see kind of the progression of the team. Maybe this will be my team while I'm over here.
Maybe. Have you experienced the delicacies yet? Had a pie, had a pint?
No, not yet. We were waiting in line, but they weren't open yet. So they don't open until a couple minutes before kickoff, just to kind of get the fans into the stands and then get them a pint and a burger. So we'll definitely make a stop at halftime.
Lovely, Emma. Well, enjoy the game. I'm sure we'll be coming back to you in a little bit. Right, well, we should be able to get to Owen Huggins, who is at the Den for Millwall, who are taking on Swansea, if I remember correctly, if I'm sure. Yes, it is. Swansea City. Glad I remembered that. Owen, are you there?
I am here, Sam. I'm live at the Den. How are you?
I'm not too bad. Not too bad. So what are you expecting from tonight from Millwall?
I'm expecting a lot of goals from Millwall tonight. They've turned the Den into an absolute fortress this season. They've taken 32 points from 48 this season at home. Swansea, on the hand, has struggled on the road this season. They've 93% of their away matches this season they have conceded first, and they struggle to score outside the last 15 minutes when the majority of their goals come from. It's an unchanged squad for Millwall, whereas Swansea City have 4 changes. Harry Darling, Oliver Nixon, Liam Cullen and Liam Walsh all start as Carl Norton, Matt Sorinola, Liam Smith and Cameron Congrave are all dropped to the bench tonight.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Owen. So we'll see you in a little bit. 5 minutes to kick off in some of the games for the Championship. So we'll be looking forward to seeing that. Obviously, we'll be talking about all the games tonight. I'll be keeping up to date with all the results in the Championship, League 1, League 2, the Conference. We have some very interesting games tonight, of course. But we will see. So, obviously, Middlesbrough versus Stoke, Ollie, it's your game. So what were we thinking in this game? Michael Carrick, obviously.
Yeah, unfortunately I pulled the short straw. It's the only 8 o'clock kickoff of the Championship, but I think I'm really looking forward to a good game. Michael Carrick has completely changed the fortunes for Middlesbrough this season. When he took over from Chris Wilder, they were in the relegation zone, and now they're on a hunt to go for automatic promotion. I think they're only 4 points off Sheffield United. They're playing against a Stoke side today who really are just dwindling around the mid-table. They're well off the playoff hunt. and they're well in front of the relegation battle. So I think they should, it's pretty much a nothing game to them, which sounds silly even with 10 games left of the season. But Middlesbrough, no, they're breathing down Sheffield United's neck. They've got a hard game against Sunderland tomorrow night. And I can really see them potentially going forward. Michael Carrick, a young manager, his first permanent job in football. And they've got some really exciting players. I think in January they brought in Cameron Archer and Aaron Ramsey, both from Aston Villa. They look some like really young, exciting prospects. And Chuba Akpom as well. I don't know if you guys remember him from when he was at Arsenal.
Yeah, I do.
A bit of a holiday in Greece as well at Pout. But now, in case you missed it, he's the top scorer in the Championship. 22 goals this season and 1 assist. And I can't really see how Stoke's really going to contain them all. And I'm going to go for a 3-1 Middlesbrough win, I think, today.
Obviously, Michael Carrick has been coaching for a few years now. He coached at Manchester United. He was on the coaching staff for quite a while. He actually, I think, was interim manager for Manchester United for a few games. I remember after one of the sackings, I think it was it Ole? Was it after Ole was sacked? It was one of them.
I reckon, yeah, you're probably right there.
But he did very well. I think he had a 100% record in his games. Obviously, in the lower leagues, we've got Tom, who is covering Notts County versus Eastleigh. Obviously, Notts County, being one of the most famous league teams, being one of the oldest clubs in the world, now find themselves in the conference, but maybe not for long.
Well, anyone that follows the National League will know that Notts County and Wrexham are the ones that are running away with it at the moment. I think it'd be hard for anyone, Woking, I believe, a third, and it'd be hard for them to catch them. So it's kind of a two-horse race at the top of the league between Notts County and Wrexham. And Eastleigh travel there in a good position. They're fifth at the moment, albeit the teams below them have got a couple of games in hand, but they're holding their own at the moment. They've got a good home record, not such a good away record. But they have kept the most clean sheets in the league this season. But they also face Macaulay Langstaff, who is top goal scorer in the league this season. So we'll see how this plays out tonight. Kick-off in about 4 minutes or so.
Lovely. Love it. Well, I've just heard that we can now go to Tom Wallace, who is at Petersfield Town as they take on Newport. Tom, you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Hello, I'm at Petersfield Town as we see them play Newport Isle of Wight. The players are just getting ready, actually. It was due to start at 7:30, but there was a delay as Newport Isle of Wight's players were stuck in traffic on the way up here. It's a big game at the top of the Wessex League Division 1. Petersfield in the fourth against Newport Isle of Wight, just about to kick off.
Good stuff. Looking a bit chilly there for sure. Right.
Yeah.
Right. I say it's gonna be cold on all the trouble with all these South Coast matches. It's always freezing, absolutely freezing. Well, like I said, we are shortly away from kick-off in the Championship for a few games there, also in League One and in League Two, and also in the National League, of course, with some good games. Some good games I want to point out. Bournemouth Southend, that should be a good local game, not too far. Championship, we've got to say Watford playing Birmingham City, Wigan Athletic playing Coventry, Middlesbrough playing Stoke, of course. Blackpool taking on QPR, Millwall taking on Swansea City as Owen Huggins will be covering that game. League One, Accrington Stanley will be playing Portsmouth, Bristol Rovers will be taking on Wycombe Wanderers, Burton Albion will be taking on Peterborough United, and Morecambe will be taking on Charlton Athletic. And I've just heard that Luke Buckle is available, who's watching Poole Town as they take on Merthyr Town. I think I just pronounced that wrong. On the coast. Luke, how are we doing?
Yeah, Blackgold Stadium, Poole Town are taking on Merthyr Town in the Southern Premier Division South. Poole Town are fifth in the table, Merthyr are eighth. They're both pushing for a playoff place to get promoted to the sixth tier. And Tony Lee is playing for Poole Town today. He's looking to build on his 16 league goals that he's already scored this season as well.
Lovely, thank you. I was wondering if there's anyone there. Couldn't see anyone behind him. Wow, it's crazy actually. Poole Town was one of the best teams in the non-league when I was young. They used to take on my local team, Wimborne Town. See how they've fallen is a bit sad.
Lovely town, Paul.
It is nice. It is a lovely town. You can't really deny it. We are 1 minute away from kick-off across all the leagues, across the Championship, League One, League Two, and the Conference. There should be some fantastic games tonight. Let's talk about the Champions League though, anyway, as we're still about 15 minutes away from that. So what are we thinking, guys? What are we thinking? Who do you think? Who are your favourites, personally?
My favourites tonight are going to be Manchester City. I mean, we can go through some team news in a minute, I'm sure. But they're a side that, like I said, are so exciting to watch. But there's always goals when they play, and they don't concede many goals. That's sort of... There's the two things that win you games, aren't they? They score an average of 3 goals this season at home whenever they play, and of course it's at the Etihad tonight, but also they concede 0.43 per game. You know I love my stats. I mean, that's a recipe for disaster for Leipzig. If I had to guess, I think Leipzig will steal one. They're very free-flowing side, very, very fluid. I think they'll probably steal one towards the end, but I think it would be too late, and I think Man City will win this one 3-1.
Oh, well, I've just heard that there has been a goal across the channel at Paris FC. Let's go over.
3-0.
Yes, it's 3-0 here to Paris FC. First half from Chobri was found up on the score sheet after the Paris FC attack flowed like the send with Hamley on defence. Found himself just 4 yards out from goal, slotted into the bottom corner, and 3 goals up with 3 minutes remaining. That should be 3 points. As I'm sure you can see, the fans behind me are absolutely loving this, and hopefully back up their playoff charge back on track.
Good stuff. Good stuff all the way over there from Paris, all the way from across the channel. But let's go back to the Champions League anyway. So obviously, like I said, Man City have turned kind of the Etihad into a fortress, really. And obviously, one of the other fortresses, I'd say, of Europe is the San Siro, which Inter Milan did very well at last week against Porto, or 2 weeks ago now. Even longer.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's three weeks ago now, isn't it? Feels a while.
I know.
But it was a very close-fought game. You know, it was a 1-0, quite a tight affair. I just think Porto, something about going to Portugal, I don't know if it's just me that thinks this, but there's some like aura about it. You know, there's something scary about going to Portugal. You know, Estadio de Drago. It's called the Dragon. It's a scary place to go. They got Diogo Costa, who's one of the best young keepers in the world right now. They got a real fine balance, Porto, of age and youth. I'm looking forward to it. I really think it's going to be an exciting game.
I actually have an interesting stat about that. Inter have a poor record against Portuguese teams away in the Champions League, winning only 1 of their last 8 games in Portugal in the Champions League, which is not a stat that would per se suit them in history, but history is always there to be changed, isn't it?
You bring it down to that just Porto. Their head-to-head is Inter have won 7, Porto have won 5. There's only been, Inter have won 3, Porto have won 1. It's 7 goals to Inter, 5 to Porto. It's such a tight game between those two always. You know, it took Lukaku the 86th minute to score the winner against the 10 men of Porto. I think it's going to be, as I've said, I don't want to keep repeating myself, but I think it's going to be a brilliant game.
Yeah,
really
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Inter Milan, of course, have some fantastic players, of course. Romelu Lukaku. He's had a bit of a rough time in the career for the past few years, I'd say.
You know, he's only got 5 this season in all competitions. That hasn't been great. He's been outshone by Lautaro Martinez, who again is one of the best strikers in the league, in the world. And Dzeko, who it's a bit of a resurgence. You know, he was at City. Where was it? Roma?
Yeah, I think around that.
He spent a couple of years in Italy. And it really feels like he's in those twilight years where he's coming into it, leaving a mark on the game.
Right, well, I've just heard that we can talk to Liam Harding, who is at the Farnborough game as their game against Havant and Waterlooville. Liam, what's going on over there?
I'm here at the ECS Stadium, and as you can see, right behind me, Farnborough playing Havant and Waterlooville. If the Borough win tonight, they'll be within 3 points of the playoff spaces. However, Waterlooville, they haven't won for 6 games. In fact, they were top of the table in January. It's since then they've fallen. So anything can happen here tonight, but the Hawks would definitely be eager to get their hands on victory. Liam from the ECS Stadium.
Oh, yeah? So what do you think are Farnborough's chances for this evening?
Wait, are you talking to me?
I am talking to you, Liam. You are the one I am talking to.
Well, I think they can definitely win tonight. They picked up 8 points from their last 5 games, which is far better than Hams, to say the least. And quite frankly, Captain Ollie Robinson is back in the side tonight, a pivotal part of the team. And quite frankly, I feel that if they play as well as they did last time when I was here, and the 3 others behind the camera, then they can definitely win to say. Because I think that they're just the team to watch in the league, considering they've come up from 19th where they were at the start of the season. So Farnborough had the better form. That's all.
Lovely. There is only one Liam Harding, isn't there? There's only one Liam Harding. Right, kickoff has happened in the league games, in the Championship, League 1 and League 2 and Conference. We will bring you, obviously, all the results as they come in, of course. Right, so Champions League games, of course, coming up as well for the 2 games.
I'd love to go for some team news.
Go for it.
I think there's a couple surprises today. So if we start with Manchester City, of course, Ederson in goal, as per usual. He's played 27 games in the Premier League this season, so you'd expect no one else. Back four, Nathan Ake, Ruben Diaz, John Stones and Marouane Akanji. Just in front of those, you've got Rodri, Gundogan, Grealish and Kevin De Bruyne. And then the front two, although Bernardo Silva probably drifting out wide, is Bernardo Silva and Erling Haaland, of course, star striker. But if we look at the attacking side on Leipzig, it's a little bit different. In goal, they've got Blaswich. At the back, Henriks, Orban, Gvardiol and Campbell. Then in front of those, you've got Lima, Hedera, Zobolossi, Forsberg, and then the front two, Andre Silva. And the big news today is that Timo Werner will be replacing Christopher Nkunku. He will not be playing. He's sidelined with a thigh injury. So taking his place is the ex-Chelsea Werner, of course. He's played 7 games against Manchester City, but he's never scored against them. He's the man that's going to have to step up tonight. He's got 14 goals across all competitions this season, but he's going to need to work some magic in this one.
What's everyone's kind of opinion on Timo Werner? I always feel like that's an interesting topic of discussion. Because
Yeah.
a lot of people rate him, some people didn't. He came over from Germany as a star striker, fantastic. I remember seeing him play against Spurs when we played RB Leipzig, and he was brilliant. He was fantastic, but just didn't work out for him at Chelsea. I feel
it's a form thing. I think with Werner,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
you don't score. I think it was 28 goals in the Bundesliga if you're a poor striker. I think maybe he just didn't adjust to the climate in England. He maybe didn't acculture himself within the Chelsea team, and potentially there could be a striker in there. But I've spoken to lots of Chelsea fans and lots of Chelsea social media accounts who they never really saw it with him. You know, he'd try hard. He'd set the press. He'd do a lot of harrying with the defence, but at the end of the day, if you're a striker that can't finish, that never bodes well. And it's probably why Chelsea, I was about to say Chelsea didn't do too well in that time. They went on to win the Champions League, but they've never really hit that consistency in the last couple of years. And I think he was right to be moved on, but that's a huge loss for Leipzig, knowing Nkunku tonight.
I do feel like, to be fair, if Timo was in this lineup now at Chelsea, they play a lot different under Graham Potter. I think he'd be a lot better. They play those through balls in behind. I mean, back then, the coaching staff, not really the same mentality as him, especially in the Bundesliga when he was playing out there. So many balls in behind that he could latch onto. Really good and confident one-on-one. I do agree with you. I think that confidence is a really big factor when it comes to strikers, especially scoring one-on-one.
Just to point out some early goals from the Championship. Blackpool are 1-0 up thanks to a Ryan Yates penalty. And also, I think that was an early goal in the National League. Yes, there was. Maidenhead United are 1-0 up against Aldershot Town from a goal from Aqua. I think that's his name. Can't pronounce it. Not even going to attempt it. So,
Tom's not happy with that Aldershot goal.
Are you not?
Well, I'm not a local boy, but I do follow them a little bit. And
we will have our local teams, I feel.
But speaking of National League, if you just want to stick with me a minute, we're 7 minutes into the Notts County Eastleigh game. Notts County have had most of the ball, but Eastleigh have had the better chances. It was a ball played back from one of the Notts County defenders. I didn't quite see who it was, to the keeper. And it was a bit of a shoulder, played him short a little bit, and Danny Whitehall, Eastleigh's number 9, was running onto it, but keeper just got there and booted it up. They just had another chance, a long ball again working for Eastleigh, which seems to be their style of play. And again, the keeper just came out and got to it in the nick of time. So Eastleigh have had 2 sort of chances, but Notts County having most of the ball, but Eastleigh having the better chances.
Lovely. Well, let's cut to James, who is at Bristol Rovers, who apparently has been in quite a few chances. Let's hear from him. James.
Yeah, hi, Sam. There's been quite a few transfers already. Bristol Rovers went down with Josh Coburn cutting it back. Scott Sinclair managed to get onto the end of it, but it only went out for a corner. And then Wickham went up straight after the corner, with Gareth McCleary putting in a few dangerous crosses. But I think a goal's coming soon. Still 0-0 here at the Mem.
Lovely, good stuff. People in the background look like they are having a whale of a time. Watford are 1-0 up against Birmingham City. That made me happy, my local side. AFC Wimbledon are 1-0 up against Newport County. And Aldershot Town has equalised against Maidenhead. He's absolutely buzzing on it.
They were good. They were good.
Good game there. But yeah, so we are 6 minutes away from the Champions League games, and obviously 6 minutes away from Middlesbrough versus Stoke City.
Yeah, we've got team news actually versus Stoke. I can just see the fans in the Riverside Stadium at the moment. Middlesbrough are unchanged this evening. Zach Steffen remains in goal, obviously on loan from Manchester City. A back four of Tommy Smith, Paddy McNair, Dara Lenihan and Ryan Giles. Then a holding midfield 2 we expect of Johnny Howson and Hayden Hackney, with Riley McGree, Aaron Ramsey, Chuba Akpom and Cameron Archer finishing up the starting 11. For the away side, the Potters, Jack Bonham starts in goal for Stoke City with Kijana Hova, who's just scored 2 goals against Blackburn Rovers. I can see the Liverpool fans to the right of me quite pleased with that. Obviously, ex-Liverpool player. Axel Tuanzebe starts for Stoke this evening, and the only change comes in with Ben Wilmot replacing Morgan Fox. Dujon Sterling starts at left-back with Ben Pearson and Josh Lauren as the 2 holding midfielders again. Then Jacob Brown, Tyrese Campbell, Will Smallbone, another Southampton connection to you, Reece. And Dwight Gale leads the line for Stoke City. I hadn't heard his name for quite a while.
No, I haven't. I've not heard his name for a while. Right, well, actually, we'll cut to Paris, as I think the game over there has finished. Let's talk to Joshua.
Yes, and it has finished, and it ended 3-0 to Paris FC. Amiens are going home very empty-handed and very downbeaten. Paris were dominant throughout the entire game. At the one brief moment when Vincent Dimocanet was called upon, it was all plain sailing down the centre for them. The first goal came in the 30th minute through Cyril Manduki, before a second goal came up just after half-time for Julian Lopez. A goal 4 minutes before full-time from Cherogui, the first half substitute, but the icing on the pan au chocolat, and 3-0, 3 points.
I'd just like to say, so obviously not many people will be watching, not really know what a Ligue 2 game is like. So what would you kind of say the experience was like? What the atmosphere, the type of football? How would you kind of see it in your own eyes, being obviously an English football fan?
One word, that is passionate. The fans were singing loudly, banging on the drums for 90 minutes. It was incredible, and it's a smaller stadium, obviously it's a smaller club. Paris Saint-Germain usually dominate in this city. Maybe 2,500 fans here, somewhere around that was the total figure, but you wouldn't have known it. The noise was deafening and echoed around the stadium. It was a fantastic atmosphere, and after the full-time whistle, the players came in front of the fans and for 2 minutes sang along with them, which I think was a really nice touch of unity.
Good stuff. Well, I hope you have a safe trip home, Josh. Right, well, we will go to Bristol Rovers, where apparently there's been some big chances. Let's go over to James. James, what's going on?
Yeah, this been a really lively start here at the men. Josh Coburn just went through one-on-one, but it was a huge save from Max Stryjek, Wickham's number 1. And then the rebound fell kindly to Scott Sinclair, which saw his goal cleared off the line. I mean, it was a soft attempt, but there's got to be a goal soon. 0-0 still.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, Altrincham are 1-0 up. That's an inside joke there. And we find ourselves a few minutes away from the Champions League kickoff games. What is going on in the Eastleigh game? Ooh, no, no, go on.
My apologies. I was just going to say, we've had a nice drone light show at the Etihad.
Oh, lovely. Of
course, yeah. If that's going to be any indication of how exciting this game's going to be, then I'm in for a treat. But I do want to talk a little bit about RB Leipzig before we come back to you. I'm very sorry. I feel like some of the viewers, maybe casual viewers, won't know who they are. They are a German team who play in the Bundesliga. It's quite a big league, an exciting league over there, and they're currently 3rd. So they're behind the 2 biggest teams. They have scored, I believe it's, if I just check my notes, at 49 goals in the Bundesliga this season. 2nd highest scoring team in the league. They've also got the 2nd highest goal difference with 20. So clearly a high scoring team. They don't concede many, but they've got to face probably the best team in the world, or one of them at least, at the Etihad tonight.
So sorry, Tom. I swear. I promise. I will catch up to you at Notts County. But we just want to go to again. Romsey Town. That's the name of the team. We're going to Romsey Town, where Emma is there to talk about our first 15 minutes watching a non-league side and hopefully handball winning. But again, no bias.
Hi.
The Eastleigh game. How's it going? How's it gone over there, Tom?
Well, it's a lovely start at Meadow Lane, I can give you that. Charlie Carter, National League Player of the Month, was just running down the right wing, actually. Probably should have squared it. It was a 2-1. There was two Eastleigh players in the box and just one Notts County defender. And he had to square it, and he just ran out of time. And JJ McKinnon there just puts in a bit of a bad tackle. But yeah, EC manager Lee Bradbury wasn't happy with something as well. He's been booked by the referee early on, which is not good. EC's discipline problems showing through again. They've had 3 red cards in their last 5 games, and with 2 yellow cards, 1 for the manager and now 1 for their attacking midfielder. Maybe discipline at EC needs to be a bit better. But no, 0-0. Yeah, lively game.
I just want to point out, Norwich is not playing Eastleigh, it is Notts County. Blackpool have gone 2-0 up against QPR. Peterborough United are 1-0 up against Burton Albion. And that is all the updates right now in the league games. The Champions League should be kicking off any second now. They should be, the anthem is going off and kickoff is underway at the 2 games for this evening. There should be some cracking games.
I mean, we talk about the Champions League. They're playing it now.
No,
I can see.
I'm gonna
maybe the Europa League.
I'm gonna miss hearing that at White Hart Lane for the next 6 years. Right, we can go to. I don't know how I keep forgetting this. Romsey Town, where hopefully we have Emma with us this time again. Emma.
Hi, Sam. Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, there you
right,
are.
Sorry, there you go.
Yeah.
So how's the first 20 minutes gone over there at Romsey?
It's been good, it's been good. It's very entertaining. There's been 1 injury so far, and, well, that wasn't entertaining, but it was, there's been some action already, so that was interesting.
Oh, right. So, so obviously, is it cold? Is it cold as you think it is?
Yes, it's definitely starting to get busy. My toes are also definitely starting to get very chilly. It's starting to pile up behind me. I don't know if you can see, but the fans have all lined up near where the beer is, so clearly we're on the wrong side. And I'm starting to get super excited to hopefully see my first goal. There's been some claps while I've been talking to you, so something has definitely happened, and it looks like a great save made by the Ramsey.
Oh yeah. How's the experience of being so close to the players? Because obviously you're right on top of the action when you're at these kind of grounds.
Yes, it's definitely been a bit. I stepped out of the way and I was a bit scared I was going to get hit in the head. And even while I'm talking to you with my back turned to the game, I'm a bit scared because I can see the shadow. But I'm definitely getting used to it. At home we play. When I played when I played football, this is how we would always play, and so it was a bit more exciting. But for me, because you get to be right beside, but I was obviously young, so I was like, oh, hey, Mom, and then I would just keep on going kind of thing. But it's definitely crazy to have them so close, and the ball's just been thrown out, and now, like, the players and the spectators just had interactions.
Lovely stuff. Well, hopefully there'll be another good game there. Number 7, Clade Roach for handball there, by the way, on the ball. I know she did say soccer. She said it partly, but don't worry, she redeemed it, so it is all good. Blackpool 3-0 up now. They are having an absolute blast at Bloomfield Road against QPR. My friend will not be happy. Portsmouth are 1-0 up against Accrington Stanley. That is a trip on a Tuesday night. And there is no there's no other results currently in the other leagues. What is going on at the?
There's a huge chance for Porto. Uribe, the Colombian centre mid, has let it fly just on the half volley from about 25 yards, and it took a fingertip save from Onana to put it wide for a corner, and they're just being put in here now. Punch clear. But no, it's been quite, obviously 3 minutes gone, quite an even start. But other than that, Uribe chance, just a bit of composure, keeping collection of the ball.
Right.
Well, just obviously 2 minutes. Fair. I wouldn't be surprised if it's checked, but the game has continued. It was Zoboslai who went in for quite a nasty one, to be fair, on Bernardo Silva. I think that sets the pace of this game straight away. Both of these teams, obviously, Man City have sort of been eluded of that illustrious Champions League win for a while now, and they won it this season. And Leipzig, they want to make a name for themselves.
I've got a question for you.
Oh, sorry to interrupt. There has been a goal. Sorry. Has there been a goal? I think there's been a goal at Bristol Rovers. Can we go to James? Has there been a goal there? Oh, the VAR in it, maybe. There's also been a goal. There's been a goal at Romsey. Let's go to Romsey. There has been a goal at Romsey. Emma. Can you hear me?
Yes, there has been a goal. They've already started play again, but there was a goal for Hamble, and the Ramsey players seemed quite distraught on the field, but the game is back in play, and I'm excited to see what happens next.
Good stuff, good stuff. I was not celebrating that on camera. So sorry, so you had a question?
Well, yeah, Reece was just talking about how Man City alluded of that Champions League trophy. I've thought about it in the past, but would you concur that Guardiola has failed at Manchester City, seeing as they haven't actually won it?
I mean, I think, personally, I don't think he's failed. I think he's built like a dynasty here, an empire as such. Like you say, they have continuously failed in the biggest tournament in the world, I would say. So, in a way, he's failed at that element of it. But when you've won that many Champions Leagues, I mean, not Champions Leagues, Premier Leagues, sorry, he won so many League Cups in a row. I know they're smaller competitions, but I wouldn't say he's failed.
I don't know.
Fair enough.
But if he's been brought in to win the Champions League and he doesn't do that, with all the money that he has spent, he's got to one final. Other than that, he hasn't seemed close to winning. You know, we were talking earlier about Pep Roulette. You don't know what lineup he's going to put out. He
didn't play Rodri in a Champions League
final. This is what I said. Do you think that he panics and he overthinks?
I mean, I think he's...
Sorry to interrupt, guys. We are actually having a very good convo. But there has been a goal at Bristol Rovers. James, what's going on over there?
It's come for the visitors. Bristol Rovers lost the ball just outside their own box. And then so number 29, TJ DeBar, who's he didn't start last game, but he came in. He slipped through number 18, Brandon Handon, and it was a simple job of just sticking it past James Belshaw. It's 1-0 here, and Wickham up on top. Bristol Rovers will try and get themselves back into this game before it becomes 2-0.
Lovely. Thank you, James. Well, we do have an update, just quickly, from Owen, who's at the Den. Owen, what's been going on at the Den, at Millwall?
It started an absolute onslaught from Millwall in the Swansea box. Nothing came with it. It was shaky defending once again by Russell Martin's side. They got it away, went on a quick counter and plays a shot over the bar. But both teams now seem up for it, and it looks like this game could go away with the first goal, even though Swansea are more likely to concede that first goal on the road.
Lovely. Well, Ollie, let's hear from you. There's been some interesting stuff happening at the Middlesbrough game.
Have to be 1-0 up. The ball played over the top. You think that Stoke City are just going to clear comfortably. Wilmot, who's returned back into the side, perhaps about a lack of match fitness, because he completely scuffs his pass back to the keeper, leaving Chuba Akpom through on goal. And you think there's no one else you'd rather have the ball when right in front of goal, but he just drags his shot wide of the right-hand post, and just down the other end, he thought Stoke were potentially going to capitalise and respond back. But a good save by Zach Steffen. But Middlesbrough certainly on top and should be one goal into the good.
Good stuff. Well, just some quick score updates from around the country. Watford are 2-0 up thanks to a Davis goal. Peterborough 2-0 up thanks to Mason Clark. And Charlton are 2-0 up against Morecambe, also thanks to a Taylor goal. So what has been going on in the Inter game? How's Inter been doing?
To be honest, since he last came to me, it's been an injury to Evan Nilsson, who is he's back on the pitch now. He went down, got treatment, had to be waved back on. But other than that last chance when he came to for the Uribe shot, he's just been getting treatment. It's been a bit boring since then.
Sorry, I'm just laughing because I've just heard there's been a goal at Farnborough. So you know who that means we get to go to? Liam Harding. What is going on at Farnborough?
It's 5-0 to the visitors. Having have just scored in a one-on-one. That's Mohamed Fowl behind me. And Farnborough will have to crawl their way back very hard if they want to get a point tonight at least. That's what they use as HTV Stadium.
Good stuff. Well, and how would you... So would you say haven't been on top for the whole game? Oh, he's gone.
Sorry,
Sorry, Liam. So have you said
no,
haven't
okay.
been on
Sorry,
top
I wasn't
for the game?
expecting that.
That's all right.
Pardon?
So it's my bad. How's haven't been doing the whole game? Would you say they've been on top?
Well, I tell you what, they were just on top a second ago. But it's been a pretty slow game, to be honest. Like, not much has really happened. But it's been end-to-end stuff, and that certainly paid off for the visitors when they were just behind me in Farnborough box, completely dominated them. They got stuck on a counter-attack there, and they just could not recover.
Thank you, Liam. We'll come back to you in a little bit. Well, how about that?
This game is end-to-end.
Is it?
Tyrese Campbell did some brilliant work down the left-hand side. He's one of Stoke's best, most exciting attackers. He managed to get past the right back, square it across to Kajana Hova, who I mentioned scored 2 in his last game. It comes across him just at the edge of the box, but he just managed to slash it wide of the top corner. But there would have been some goal and some way to, for a right back to score 3 goals in 2 games. I don't think many players have done that. But yeah, really, really good, exciting football being seen. Michael Carrick, like I said, he's changed the fortunes around for Middlesbrough. They've won their last 7 home games as they're in again. Stoke City, well cut out by the centre half. But yeah, really exciting game. And Carrick has got his work cut out, I think, here.
Sorry, Tom. I always feel like we're about to come to you and then something happened. It's been a goal at Romsey. But for who, Emma?
Hi, Sam. There's just been another goal for Romsey. Sadly, it was because Hamble had gotten a penalty and one of the players had received what looked like a yellow card, but I'm also a bit unsure.
Fair enough, fair enough. So would you say, who's been the better team, would you say?
Well, sadly, even though I'm on the home grounds, I'm going to have to give my money to Romsey today, just because even their bright yellow jerseys are looking like the sun out there, and they are shining.
That's a quote. That is a quote. Thank you very much. Emma, right, so Preston have gone 1-0 up against Rotherham, and we will go to Tom.
Oh, it's nice for you to talk to me.
That is all right. I have not forgotten about you, Tom.
No, it was just that Notts County had a free kick on the edge of the box. Cisse, EC's number 8, just gave away a foul on Ruben Rodriguez. Took the free kick, tried to place it keeper's right, but Joe McDonnell, who has again the most clean sheets in the league this season, saved it as they just put a cross in now. But it's all been all Eastleigh, to be fair. They're showing the team in second place what they're about, and Eastleigh are really trying to stay in those playoff places. But we're just over 26 minutes gone. It's 0-0, but it's a good game.
What is going on at the Etihad? How has both teams been?
Cagey to start with, to be fair. Lots going on in the midfield, as you'd imagine. Both of these teams have got great midfields. There is a ball now into Erling Haaland. He's actually 1-on-1 with the keeper, but he puts it straight at him, and it's a really good save. Darwin Núñez would have put that over. It's been really good. City are probably the better team right now. The team in possession, definitely. They average like 63% possession every single game they play. Again, I love my stats. That means they've got the ball all the time. They've got so much of the ball, and you're inevitably going to be able to create chances if you got the ball for the majority of the game.
Brilliant. Well, Burton Albion has just scored at home. That makes it Peterborough 2, Burton Albion 1. Sorry, the other way around. Burton at home. Right. So not much going on in the leagues. We're in a quiet period at the moment. Obviously, all the games right now, no goals so far as such.
I do have a question for you. Going to make the playoffs? You've watched them a lot this season. Do you think they're good enough?
It's tough to say. I think the teams below, I think it's Southend are below them. They've got 2 games in hand and a point or 2 behind. So if they win those 2 games, obviously, easily start to drop down another. But they've got the quality, I think. I think it's just their away record's been quite poor this season. Their home record's been superb. They've only lost to Notts County and Wrexham, the top 2 teams at home, and they've drawn or beaten everyone else. So they've got the potential. They can sort that away record out and a bit of the discipline. Stop getting those red cards as well.
Definitely, yeah.
I think they've got the potential to do it. So.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
Interesting stuff. Well, yeah, like I said, one of my the local teams, Barnet, obviously is chasing Eastleigh at the moment, and like you said, they have games in hand. So I think it could be very close. I reckon at the top. Obviously, Boreham Wood as well, another local team for me. Right. Well, it's a quiet time currently across the leagues and across the nation. Not much really going on. Any updates from any of you guys?
No, nothing.
Anything interesting?
I have to say though, Hoover has really impressed me for Stoke. He's, like I said, he had that chance earlier on that he potentially could have done a little bit better with, but he's really cancelled out Ramsey on the left-hand side as there's a chance just coming in well defended by Smallbone. But yeah, Hoover is up and down that right flank really well, putting in tackles when he needs to. He's a really composed young defender, and you can see why Liverpool and Wolves have both seemed to make it permanent. Ball comes into Akpom now. He could shoot from outside the box. It comes crashing off the bar. I thought for a second it just got into the top corner. It hit the bar so hard it actually went outside of the 18-yard box. Akpom is at the centre of everything in terms of Middlesbrough's attacks. They've scored 64 goals this season, 2.25 per game since Carrick took over, and before that it was 1.19 per game under Chris Wilder. So Carrick is certainly getting them firing on all cylinders, and Akpom, like I said, is at the centre of everything.
It's interesting actually, because all these Premier League teams lately have been sending I think quality players down to the Championship. I mean, I saw Burnley play on the weekend against Wigan. Nathan Tella, Southampton, was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, Nathan Tella, Southampton player. I think he's brilliant. And as a Southampton, I watch a lot of Southampton. I would say as well he'd be really, really good in our side. I think he does start.
Yeah, I would say.
I thought he would be recalled in January. He's a winger of end product, which is something that Southampton do not have.
He's both his feet. He was so quick, and obviously we're going to have a player sent off on the weekend, and it was due because Nathan Tella could get that extra just 5 yards on that centre back. But yeah, I was very much impressed with him.
Speaking of a play, sending them down to the one that just comes to my head is Harvey Elliott. I think they sent him down to Blackburn, and he played the whole season at Blackburn, come back to Liverpool, and he's played in every game for Liverpool so far this season, if it's starting or come off the bench. So it's proven that maybe sending them down just a league or two.
I think,
for progress and sending them back up.
Well, I always think the Championship for sure is one of the best leagues in the world, just because it's kind of an interesting kind of bit of quality, because you get kind of the toughness and the physicality of the Premier League, but you also kind of I don't know, it's a bit more like back to basics, but also with the technicality of the Premier League. It's a harsh league. You get rewarded for doing really well, but then you get
in terms of physicality.
For sure.
There are some dimes in the Championship. The likes of Eze, Jared Bowen, Olise have all come from the Championship, and you can tell they've got the quality to make it in the Premier League. I think Jared Bowen obviously is a little bit older than the others, but if the other two can just beef up a little, we could be seeing getting moved to a Big Six club, I think, within the next 2 or 3 years.
Oh, we have a penalty.
EC has just got a penalty. A corner just came in, actually, and the game's gone a bit flat. There's been a lot of stoppages, and we just had a head injury, a few things like that, so it's not really, it's slowed down a little bit, but corner just came in there. I think it's from Michael Kelly, and it looked like someone was pulling Cisse's shirt in the middle. When I get the replay, I'll have a look, but Cisse had his arms up, and ref pointed to the spot. So Danny Whitehall has 11 goals for EC this season, stands with the ball in his hands, and come back to me in a minute when hopefully he puts it in the back of the net.
If we can quickly cut to James as an update at Bristol. James.
Really?
Oh. James.
Sam, the game's gone a bit flat, to be honest, after Wickham's goal. But if there was ever a chance that Josh Coburn would have wanted it was this one. Gil takes opportunity, it just slivered it wide past the post. Everyone celebrated behind me, they thought it was in. It's still 1-0 Bristol Rovers. Still 1-0 Wickham Wanderers, but Bristol Rovers are really trying to get their claws into this one now. But yeah, still 1-0.
Good stuff. There are goals everywhere, across everywhere. Tom.
Yeah, it's 12 goals for Danny Whitehall.
They're gone to Tom.
Oh. Sorry, we're having a few technical difficulties at the moment. Well, we should be able to cut to Romsey, where there has been a goal. Emma.
Yes, Sam, there has been another goal, but I do have an argument to pick, because you guys argue that your football is better than our football strictly by name because you use your feet. However, I just watched what I swear is 60 seconds of strictly headbutting, so I'm a bit PO'd. Anyways, yes, it's 3-0 for Romsey.
3-0? I don't know how that's happened. And to be fair, I have to say quickly about the argument. The Canadian Football League is not great. The NFL is better. But right, we have a goal. Tom Wallace, who is at Petersfield. That is it. Thank you very much. Tom, what's going on?
Yes, Petersfield have taken the lead. There's a bit of contention about this goal. Newport had a player down, and then Petersfield attacked. Greeno got in behind the defence, and he rounded the keeper and slotted it into an empty net. It's kind of against the run of play. Newport have been probably the better side, but Petersfield are in front. But Newport won't be happy about that because, as I said, there's an injury in the build-up to the goal.
Right, we have a goal at Poole. Apparently, Liam.
Yeah, Poole Town here. Poole Town's had the lead 1-0 against Merthyr. A thumping finish from Wales West Boston. 2-2 for him. It was greatly brought down by Tony Lee, and West Boston finished it off. 1-0 Poole Town.
Good stuff, right. So what's going on in the Inter Milan game?
Again, since you were last with me, a little bit scrappy, fouls going in. There was a chance from the Canadian international, Estuquio. He low driving shot to the Onana's near post. Onana obviously managed to smother the ball. Smother the ball. That's the word. And it resulted in him headbutting the post. However, again, it's been a bit cagey. I think no one wants to really go for it just yet. They're just biding their time. But other than that, a bit scrappy. Wouldn't look at a place from the Championship.
Fair enough. Right, I just want to clear up just some kind of what's going on with the Romsey game quickly. It is 3-0 to Handball. It's not 1-1. Handball scored a second goal in the 23rd minute, and then 7 minutes later, Handball scored again. So that makes it 3-0 Handball. Everything is all good there. That makes me very happy. So what is going on in the Middlesbrough? Oh, sorry, go on.
Penalty check here.
All right.
It's going to go Manchester City's way. We're just looking, well, it's going to be Manchester City appealing. It does look it's come. Oh, I think it's going to be very harsh.
His hand's up, isn't it?
The hand's gone up, and I believe
it's a bit close.
It's really close range there. It's been off of a corner. The ball's come in through the top, of course. I believe it's a header from Ruben Diaz as it goes straight into the arm of one of the Leipzig defenders. We're going to get a decision here. The referee's checked the monitor, and he's going to give the penalty. So it's going to be Erling Haaland to step up very shortly. Of course, I mean, watching this, Haaland's been so involved with this game, usually, and he gets a lot of criticism for it. He sort of hangs back, goal hangs, some people like to say, as their main criticism. But he's been dropping deep. He's been a really good target man today, and City might be about to take the lead.
I just don't see how...
His arm is away from his body.
But it's a natural position.
How are you meant to jump?
You can't jump in like a...
Yeah, it's the fullback Henriks who goes up like this, and I will show it on the screen like that. He jumps up sort of to use his arm as a bit of leverage, and the ball is headed into his arm.
I feel like the handball rule nowadays, especially with VAR being involved, it's very up in the air. It's very open kind of decision.
It's inconsistent.
Rules are changing so regularly that it's easy to what is considered a foul in today's game. That was harsh. It was really harsh for Leipzig.
Henriks doesn't think it's a foul.
No.
Of course he wouldn't. It's actually going to be... So, I think is that Jack Grealish?
It's got to be Haaland.
Jack Grealish with a little bit of a feint there, walking up towards the penalty spot and coming back. People do that now to bring the mind games away from the person taking the penalty, and Haaland stepping up. This is going to be... I mean, he scored one at the weekend, of course, to beat Crystal Palace 1-0. That was his 28th Premier League goal of the season. He might be about to get another one here, we'll see. 6 goals in 5 games against Leipzig across his career. Of course,
it will score.
Haaland played for Borussia Dortmund in Germany, so he's played Leipzig, I believe it was 6 times before. Let's see what happens here. Ball is down onto the floor. Very, very heavy rain, so hopefully everyone's got their wet weather gear on. Here we go. No, I think it's a harsh one. I think it's a harsh one. He steps up and he goes bottom right corner. Keeper guesses the right way, and Haaland runs straight towards the home fans, salutes the crowd. Really good penalty. He couldn't have got that any further in the corner if he tried. He's brilliant. From a dead ball, from a cross, from a volley, whatever he does, he seems to find the back of the net.
Chance for Middlesbrough here. They've got a 4-on-2 situation. Archer's got to play the right ball. He's played it over to the right wing. The defenders get back quickly. He's played it back into Akpom. He shoots and he scores. It looked like it was going to be a great counter-attack opportunity. They were robbed of the ball, Stoke, at the halfway line. They had a 4-on-2 opportunity, played out to the right-hand side to Riley McGree. He's got 1 assist this season. Make that 2. Akpom with his 23rd league goal, right foot to the right of the goalkeeper. Middlesbrough 1-0 up and deservedly so.
It's just going off. The fireworks have gone off. Just some quick score updates from around the leagues. Chesterfield are 1-0 up against Wealdstone. Grimsby are 1-0 up against Sutton. Rotherham have equalised against Preston. Blackpool are now 4-0 up. Scunthorpe also equalised against Solihull Moors. And as you've just heard, Man City are 1-0 up. Peterborough have now gone 3-1 up. And Middlesbrough, of course, have scored.
Oh my God, and it's Rodri there who hits it off the crossbar, and it's a second goal for Haaland. That could be offside, we'll have to see. But Man City have just taken a 2-0 lead within minutes there. Pep Guardiola talking to the fans, he's loving it right now. It's turned to snow as well, it's heavy snow, it's not heavy rain anymore. And I think that was an effort from Rodri from just outside of the box. Goes straight into the crossbar, lands quite high up, but Haaland jumps high. I mean, he's got that sort of, he's got that reach, hasn't he? And that's Leipzig's game completely undone. They are 3-1 down now on aggregate, so they need to score 2 more to take this to extra time. Haaland seems to have injured himself with a knee slide. We saw a similar thing with Charlie Alcaraz at Southampton. These players have got to stop doing knee slides.
Right, well, it's all popping off everywhere, from on our panel table to across the nation. Let's go to you, Tom. What's going on in the... Sorry to surprise you there.
No, it's fine.
See, I'm going to you now. What's going on the Notts County Eastleigh game?
Well, like I say, it's nice for you to come to me. No, literally the penalty, Eastleigh just seemed to controlling the ball. Notts County trying to find a way back into it. They found a long ball up to their leading goal scorer, Langstaff, but he just got... there was a 1-on-2 and he just got tackled. But yeah, Eastleigh just have control of the game. Obviously, Notts County getting a little bit more frustrated. But it's only 2 at least. But it's all going Eastleigh's way at the moment. 1-0 Eastleigh, about 5 minutes till half time.
Good stuff, good stuff. Right.
Just going back to this goal, sorry.
No, go for it, please. Be my guest.
Ben Pearson was really at fault for that goal. He was the one who was robbed on the halfway line. He's on loan from Bournemouth, but judging by what I've just seen of those 5 minutes, he's not Premier League quality. The game has actually only just restarted because he was claiming to be fouled in the process of that goal. But yeah, like I said, really good harrying from Aaron Ramsey. He's scored 3 goals this season since signing on loan from Aston Villa. But he's unlucky not to really get an assist there. It was him that robbed Pearson of the ball. It was him that drove into the final third and giving it over to McCree. And like I said earlier that Akpom perhaps should have scored a really good chance. He's hit the bar and finally he does find the back of the net with a 3rd chance.
Right. Good stuff. Right, we are coming out actually to half time for the 7:45 games. Only probably about 5-6 minutes in each game. So we should be coming up to that at any time.
There's a chance. Poor touch from number 11 for Leipzig, but it doesn't actually end up going anywhere. Timo Werner there with quite a poor touch. They managed to steal the ball just sort of outside the box, and it landed at Werner's feet for him to have a go. But yeah, not good enough with that touch.
Just a little chat on Middlesbrough. What kind of football would you say Michael Carrick has kind of implemented into Middlesbrough?
I was looking at it beforehand because, like I said, you tend to associate Chris Wilder with a rigid approach. You know, that having that strong back four, strong back five, I should say, with Sheffield United when they had that really good season in the Premier League. But I guess it just didn't really click with Middlesbrough. I think the ethos with Michael Carrick is to play free-flowing possession football, and that's what you can see at the moment. I think when you've got the players like Akpom, Ramsey, McCree and Archer, players that can carry the ball really well, it's really tight dribblers, I think that really just sets the tone. He's got some close connections as well with some of the players. Paddy McNair, who's starting today, he played with Carrick at Manchester United from 2014 to 2016. He's been a stalwart for Middlesbrough. Ball comes in for Stoke towards the back post. It goes towards it. Really brave goalkeeping from Zach Steffen, and Middlesbrough gets it clear. But yeah, Middlesbrough are now only 1 point behind Sheffield United. As I said, they are breathing down the necks. Sheffield United have picked up 6 points in their last 6 games. I think if I was, it's all to talk about the bookies at the moment with the Cheltenham Gold Cup. I think if you're going to put a bet on at the moment, it's Middlesbrough to get automatic promotion.
Certainly, I would also think that is a pretty safe bet. And one thing I've kind of also noticed is that a lot of Championship clubs at this kind of current time are starting to play a lot of possession-based football. So obviously not only Mark Carrick, but with Vincent Kompany with Burnley, he's also starting to play a bit of possession-based football. I've heard Blackburn have also started playing some good football. West Brom plays some good football. And you start to notice these Championship clubs who are also doing very well, surprisingly.
Yeah,
West Brom
especially, because I think it might have been when Southampton sacked Hasenhüttl, they were looking at Corberan for West Brom, and that was the best thing to happen to them, to sack Steve Bruce. I think it was never going to go us appointing Steve Bruce in the first place. I think we've had 10 years of evidence to do with that. But yeah, Corberan has really got West Brom ticking. They were in the relegation zone as well, and just shows what a manager and a bit of insightful, tactics can do to bring your team up the table.
I do think as well, maybe they want to play this style so
Yeah.
they can actually adapt better when they get promoted in the Premier League. Because you see teams such as Norwich come up and they go straight back down. It's not maybe a sense of them signing the wrong players because they spend a lot of money and they sign these bright talents from abroad. Josh Sargent comes to mind, a really good American talent. But then everything sort of falls apart and they don't play the same football that the other teams do in the Premier League. So I think they're trying to sort of implement these signs in the Championship so that when they go up, it's not so much of a culture shock, shall we say.
The smaller clubs in the Premier League at the moment, it encourages the free-flowing. Like the likes of Brentford, Fulham and Brighton, they're not teams that are traditionally associated with, that rigid back 4 or 5 who are just, scraping 1-0 or 2-1 wins. They're playing some fantastic football, Brighton especially, and it shows, if you can instill that momentum and that ethos into the club, who says you can't do that in the Premier League as well?
And also, it's just like another thing that I also noticed is those teams that have come up, they were also playing that type of football in the Championship. So it's not just something that's just been happening in the past season; it's been happening in the past few seasons.
Yeah.
And those teams have been staying up. Like Fulham are a few points off Tottenham.
Yeah, I think there's evidence this season as well. Southampton obviously started with Ralph Hasenhüttl. It didn't work out. Sacked him and brought in Nathan Jones, who is one of those more rigid, traditional managers. People, with the greatest respect,
Indeed.
people were saying that he was signed to be ready for the Championship. And now Ruben Sayers has come in, who is of course, the assistant manager promoted to permanent manager now at Southampton. And he's encouraging more of the traditional Hasenhüttl ways.
I think you're forgetting though, Nathan Jones is pound for pound the best manager in Europe.
As he has said himself. Right, we can go to the Den, where Owen can give us an update as we come up to half-time in the Millwall game. Owen.
Hi, it's the half-time has literally just been blown. It's still 0-0 here. The rain started to come down. I think it's just stopped again, actually, as I've mentioned it. Of course it has, but it's been quite a tame affair. Both teams have struggled to sort of in front of goal. Swansea have really struggled with the ball at the back there. They've been looking really, really messy. And it was another scramble in the box from Millwall from 2 corners. Swansea struggled to get away. That brought the half to the end.
Now, obviously, Swansea have. It sounds like Millwall have been on top. So how would you say going into the second half, could Swansea maybe nick a goal?
Well, they have scored the majority of their goals this season in the last 15 minutes. So it's not disheartening for Russell Martin's side. They have conceded first on the road 93% of the time in their games. So it's looking good for Russell Martin defensively. They've not conceded yet, and they do like scoring late on. But Millwall average about 2 goals per 90 at the moment. So I think it's going to be goals in the second half. It's going to really fire up. I'm sure Gary Rowell is trying to get his players fired up in the dressing room to try and they can score, or at least get some more shots on target and really test Andy Fisher, the Swansea keeper, in the middle of a keeper crisis, with Stephen Bender, ex-Swindon player, out with a cruciate ligament rupture.
Right. Well, thank you very much, Owen. Half-time is now starting to come into the league games across England and Wales, of course. Wigan Coventry is at half-time. That's 0-0 there. It also should be coming up to half-time at Notts County Eastleigh.
30 seconds to go. Notts County, for the last 5 minutes, just tried to get back into this game. It was their leading goal scorer, Langstaff, had a header saved, easy saved by Joe McDonnell, and then he was through on goal. They played the ball over the top, and he tried to take it first time. They're just in the box now. It's blocked. He tried to take it first time, just scuffed it, and it went way off right. So about 10 seconds to go as Notts County just piling on the pressure a little bit. Michael Kelly blocking in there. Corner Notts County, but it's still all Eastleigh. But like I say, the last 5 minutes, Notts County have been getting back into it.
Good stuff. Right, well, not much going on around the league. I've actually got a completely out of the blue random question for everyone here. So obviously we were talking to Emma at the start about her first football experience in England and what you kind of do traditionally to go to England. So what do you guys, when you go to a football game, what is your go-to? What is your go-to?
When I go to a football
pre-match
game, the whole thing for me is about the game. I don't get a pint beforehand. I don't get a pint at half-time. If I'm feeling spicy, I might get a burger and chips at half-time. But last time I did that, the last time I actually went to a Spurs game was the home match against Portsmouth in the FA Cup. I went for a burger and chips at half-time. I missed Harry Kane's goal. So I think that's going to be the last time I do that.
I think there's rituals for me at least.
There's rituals for me.
With family members, so we do have a drink before the game. a couple drinks, sometimes free drinks. But one of the main superstitions for me is I can't walk over free drains before the game. If you walk over free drains, it's bad luck. So if you do that on the way to the stadium,
that is unique.
It's very
right.
unique.
Sorry, just quickly, we'll come back to that because it is actually quite interesting. But we have a roundup from our favourite correspondent, Liam Harding. We are all celebrating. Liam, how has the first half been? Give it to me straight.
It's still 1-0 here at the half-time break at the ECS Stadium at Farnborough. And to be honest, apart from that one goal from Mohamed Fowl, not much else has happened. There's been no shots on target from Farnborough. There's been no other shots on target from Hampton Waterlooville. There's been a massive lack of quality, to say the least, from both teams, as there's been a lot of second balls not won and a lot of bumper cars being played here between the players.
Thank you very much, Liam. Thank you. Liam Harding there. Right, we will go to Bristol Rovers, where it should be half-time there. We'll get an update from James. James.
Hi. Yeah, it's been a really, really end-to-end game so far here. Bristol Rovers will be frustrated to find themselves 1-0 behind, considering they had the better chances in the first half. So yeah, they will be a bit disappointed, but I'm expecting a good fight back in the second half for Rovers. The fact the crowd are really up for it, the atmosphere is amazing. So they've got to 12th man. I'm just wondering if they can get themselves level. But yeah, an exciting game so far.
Right, thank you very much. Right, Man City?
Yeah, I mean, card. Ederson's come running out of the Man City box as soon as Timo Werner's come running towards him, and he's just taken him out. At first glance, it looked like Ederson got the ball. In replays, it's really sketchy. Oh, they've given the ball away there. It's a massive missed chance. It looked really sketchy. It looked like Ederson got the ball. Replays showed it that he didn't really get the ball. Timo Werner's gone down in protest, and of course he's gone running up to the referee, said a few choice words, I expect, and Timo Werner's been given a yellow card, and Ederson's got away with it.
Right, we'll come back to Ollie just in a sec. We have an update from Petersfield at half-time for the half-time update.
Yeah, Petersfield lead 1-0 at the break. Isle of Wight Newport started off fast, and in the first 15 minutes they had quite a few half chances, but Petersfield have really grown into the game since then, and they scored a goal through, which is a bit of a contentious goal, when Newport had a player down in the centre circle. They played a long ball through, and Archie Greeno ran around the keeper and started it into an empty net to give Petersfield the lead. But yeah, apart from that, Petersfield have just really been restricted to a few shots from outside the box. But yeah, that's about it from the first half so far.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Right, Ollie.
Yeah, Middlesbrough very much could be 2-0 up here, but if not for Jack Bonham in the Stoke goal, he's had a couple of minutes to really remember. First of all, came from the left-hand side where Ryan Giles came in on the left, played it to McCree, and it looked like his cross/shot got deflected, and the goalkeeper had to be a full stretch to tip it around the post. So then it came from a corner. From the corner, whipped in, it looked like it was going to be cleared out, but then it eventually came to Cameron Archer around the 6-yard box, who showed a bit of instinctive intuition to try and loop it over the goalkeeper from the back of his head. But somehow, all 6'4" of Jack Bonham managed to just tip it over the bar.
Right. Thank you very much. Right, we have an update from Paul. Luke, what is going on over on the coast?
Time here at Poole Town. Poole Town lead Merthyr 1-0. It was a thumping finish from Wes Brogdon that separates the side at the break, and yeah, it's a very cold night here at Poole Town, and Poole Town lead 1-0.
Ooh. Lovely. Thank you, Luke. Right, like I said, we're coming into half-time at the games across England, of course. Half-time everywhere. Preston scored right on the cusp of half-time to make it 2-1 to them. Half-time across everywhere. Chesterfield also scored right on the cusp of half-time to make it 2-0 Chesterfield against Wealdstone. And that is all. Most of you should come into half-time right now. What is going on in the intergame?
Yeah, I mean, no real...
You pulled the short straw.
I really have pulled the short straw here. Portal have been clearly the better side. However, there's been no definitive chances for either team since you've last come to me. You know, some searching balls into the box. They've been either claimed or cleared. Ball's just gone in now. And again, it's all been like that. The ball's gone in, and it's just there's no one's really gone on from Porto to go and claim it. Inter have been non-existent up front, but then, you know, there's not much to say other than what I've already said. It's been a bitty. Oh, hold on. Porto are through here. Oh, they've just hit the post. Was it the post? I don't know. But that's probably the best chance of the half. They've just, gone through, ball play just on the outside of the box, hit the post, and it's gone out for a throw-in.
Lovely stuff. Right, well, nice little pleasant surprise from across the channel. We can talk to Josh Stewart, who still be in Paris. Le Pays. Hi, Josh.
I'm joining you in front of the Notre Dame Cathedral here in Paris.
Good stuff.
This was the home of the religion in France, but I've just been to the Cathedral of Football in Stade de Charletti.
Oh, lovely. So, how was your trip up to Paris from London? Obviously, it must have been did you take the Eurostar? Did you take the boat?
So yes, I took the Eurostar, and it went brilliantly. I had 2 seats all to myself. It was clean, it was modern, absolutely loved it. Getting to London was the issue. London Paddington, where I would get the train to from my local town, all trains that day were cancelled or delayed by up to 2 hours to London Paddington. So a lot of stress before I even left the country. Somehow the international travel was quite stress-free compared to that.
Oh, railway troubles in England, who would have thought? So how would you say your experience has been overall for just the whole experience of going to a Ligue 2 game, going to Paris to watch the game? Because obviously it's a big thing, but it looks quite amazing, really.
It's been fantastic. Every French person I've come across has been incredibly helpful. The staff at the game were very welcoming, despite taking away my camera equipment, but we won't mention that. The sites are just fantastic. The city itself is just full of wonderful sites wherever you look. And it's a fantastic experience. I would really recommend going to a game. It's a different atmosphere to English. I'm not saying better, but the football is different, and I think that can only enrich the experience.
Right. Well, Josh, just to settle the hearts of everyone who works at my university, did you get your camera equipment back?
I did, thank God.
Brilliant. Well, you've just made everyone at Solent calm. Well, I hope you have a safe trip home, and hope there's no train delays.
Yes, well, I'll be joining you in hoping that, but we will see.
Lovely. Cheers, Josh.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. Right, Ollie. Yeah, go on. I saw you getting excited.
You should have a penalty here. Obviously, no VAR in the championship. The ball comes out to Josh Lauren. He robs the Cameron Archer, who you tend to think it's better in the final third. He was caught himself in his own 18-yard box there. He slides in on the midfielder, who goes down, and I think he makes contact with the ankle. But the referee Craig Pawson, who we've seen in the Premier League quite often, potentially showing why he's still in the Championship, not giving the foul there, and I think Middlesbrough potentially got away with one. But just really quickly, Stoke haven't really created much at all. There was a graphic that just came up a couple of minutes ago. Dwight Gale has only had 4 touches of the ball. They're really struggling to get the ball into the feet of the number 11. The ball comes into the feet there, into the box, but it's well cleared by Middlesbrough. But yeah, Middlesbrough on top, but that was a scare for Borough.
Good stuff. Right. At the Etihad, Man City.
Massive chance a minute ago for Erling Haaland, who came sort of really close to scoring his 3rd goal of the night to seal that hat-trick. He scored his 29th and 30th goal in the Champions League tonight. The record all-time, of course, is held by Cristiano Ronaldo, 141 goals across his career in the Champions League, which is ridiculous. Haaland scored 30 and he's 22. So I think Haaland's probably going to sniff, around there.
He might come close.
He might come close. A really good goal for the 2nd goal. He did have a chance, hit it straight at the keeper. It was a really good save, to be fair. But the captain this evening, Bernardo Silva, put it on a plate for him. You'd expect him to score there, but he's already scored 2 tonight, so let's not be too harsh on him.
Nah, that's good stuff. So, like I said, the Champions League game should just be coming into half-time. And also the Middlesbrough game. What's going on over there, Ollie?
Yeah, Stoke have really been buoyed by that penalty claim. Perhaps they're playing with a bit of anger now, the fact it wasn't given. Tyrese Campbell is a really tricky player on the right-hand side. It looked like he was going to hit it with his left foot, but just checked it back until the shot was blocked. It's come out to him again on the edge of the box. plays it back, but he miscontrols it. Does the number 20 for Stoke, Dujon Sterling. But yes, Stoke at the last 5 minutes have been on top, and there's only 2 minutes plus stoppages left of half-time. I expect a little bit of stoppage just because of the delay after the goal. Obviously, Ben Pearson was receiving treatment, but Stoke are ending the half well, and that will just change what's going to happen in the half-time team talk, I think.
Right, okay. Well, like you said, we are coming to half-time pretty much across every game now. Obviously, the 7:45 game should be coming into the second half in the next 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. So we will see what happens over there. Maybe a chance. No?
Okay, got him behind there really well. He's quietly become Manchester City's most reliable defender this season.
I always like Nathan Ake.
Yeah, he can play centrally, he can play on the left. He's playing on the left tonight. So versatile. This season he's really come into himself. He was giving the City fans some plaudits before the game, saying they could be the difference maker, but he's been the difference maker defensively so far.
I think we have to agree to disagree there. I really don't rate Nathan Ake.
No?
You're not?
I think he's great on the ball and he's good going forward, but I think he's a liability, especially in a back four when he plays at centre half. I think he's a real point to target. And I think whenever I watch him against Tottenham, him and Laporte are the first names I want to see on the team sheet, because I think they're really, really poor defensively and they're there to be got at, I think. No, I agree.
Yeah.
Great ball playing.
He has been playing, when he plays as a centre-back, it's usually in a free, which is more like it is a free for City, not a 5. And when he plays left centre-back in a free, I think he's quite reliable.
I mean, as Spurs fans, we cannot talk because we have Eric Dyer and Ben Davies at centre-back.
And Longley.
And of course Clement Longley. But that is a discussion for another time. I just want to enjoy my time. Like I said, we're at half-time currently, and our TV is about to turn off in the studio. Hopefully that does not turn off. And we should be coming to half-time literally any second.
On the right, and he scores. Oh. He scored twice against Blackburn. He scored again against Middlesbrough. I said he's been Stoke's best player. He goes out on the right-hand side, just slots it in between the legs of Zach Steffen. That's 3 goals in 2 games for the right-back. He's been fantastic recently for them. Just having a good look at the replay now. Good work out on the left-hand side. A tackle comes in, the players switched. Josh Lawrence spots the run of Hoover. A fantastic ball. Giles tries to intercept it. Good going forward is the left back, but not too great defensively. And Hoover, once he's in the box, in the form that he's in, the confidence that he's in, has the composure just to slot it under Zach Steffen. But real game on. I said that Stoke were ending the half well. That will really change the dynamics at half time. Middlesbrough winning their last 7 home games. I wouldn't be so sure at this moment in time.
Right on the cusp of half-time is always the worst time to concede.
He learned from the best of the Liverpool academy.
It's a weird one that we let go, isn't it? I think he showed quality whilst he was there, showed quality whilst out on loan, and then just sold him.
Good stuff. Right, sorry, our TV has gone off in the studio, so I cannot currently see myself. Hopefully I look fine. Hopefully that TV will come on soon. Hopefully someone will come and turn it on.
We've got about a minute now of added time in the City game, and it's really picking up. I mean, Leipzig really, really high up in their press right now. I think they know that they're running out of time. There's only 45 minutes to score 2 goals. It's possible, but for the last minute of this half or so, they are throwing everything at the back line of Man City right now.
Just looking, sorry.
No, go for it, please.
Wolves fans will be really interested by that goal because, in fact, Giles and Hoover are both on loan from there, and it was Giles who potentially was at fault, not reading the play very well. But I think looking at it from a Wolves perspective, especially Hoover, I think they're having some troubles at right backs. Nelson Semedo isn't the most reliable on the right side of the defence, so I think they've got a pretty good right back coming in if they can remain in the Premier League next season. Another chance if for Middlesbrough. cuts inside, does Cameron Archer, a little bit of a pinball in the box now, but it's eventually cleared by Tuan Zabi. Yeah, really, really exciting first half, and I'm expecting something big in the second.
Hi.
Yeah, I mean, similar to what Reece just said.
Sorry, no.
Go to Reece instead, it's fine.
It's 3-0 to Manchester City. I believe it's Ruben Diaz, of course, fully recovered recently from a hamstring injury. He's played 90 minutes in the last 3 games. We'll see if he stays on tonight, but he's got himself a goal off of a corner. I didn't think it was over the line. The keeper went to save it, cleared it. Just as it crossed the line, he fell into the net, which rippled the net, sort of creating the illusion it had gone in. It did end up going in, though, and it's Ruben Diaz.
It might have been Haaland with the last touch.
We'll see. I think it came to Diaz at the back
Just my
post.
sources have told me it was a Haaland goal.
Yeah, look, save there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
it is Erling Haaland, yeah. No, it is.
My sources have told me
it is.
A Haaland
That's
goal.
Diaz was celebrating. We'll see if it gets corrected. I don't think it will be.
At the moment, it currently does tell me is
The defender
Haaland
goes to clear it.
45
I'm not
plus
sure who the defender was. I believe it was Orban. Tries to clear it off the line. It sort of goes straight into the knee of Erling Haaland. And like you say, he's so inevitable. That's why he's the best striker in the world. He always finds a way. This is really good stuff from him.
I was going to say, a bit like Reece said, my game started picking up just towards as the fourth official announced 3 added minutes. Shame it ended when it did. I think Inter Milan, remember, they were actually in the tie here. There was one chance where Lautaro Martinez intercepted the ball on the right-hand side, was running, he looked up, and everyone else just forgot to follow up with the play. It's a shame because it was a great opportunity to get in behind there and double their lead on aggregate, but half-time 0-0.
Right, well, the 7:45 games are starting to kick off in the second half, so let's go to Tom.
Yeah, second half just got underway here at Meadow Lane. Do you know what? Someone that's watched Eastleigh quite a lot this season, it's quite frustrating that they're playing so well against a team that are in second place and going lose to the Oval last week who are in 20th place. But I suppose that's football. But yeah, I think if Notts County want to get back into the game, just a bit more of the ball. They did have it at the beginning of the game, and then they just, as soon as Eastleigh got that penalty, it was all Eastleigh, and they controlled the game. So I think they need to get the game back under control, and maybe they can find 1 and 2. But that's to say that Eastleigh won't score again. They've looked good and dangerous. They've looked more dangerous than Notts County. So we'll see what happens.
Do you think Notts County have another gear to go into? You'd expect so.
Yeah, I think so, especially at their home as well. I don't quite know what their home record's like, but I assume, they've got enough wins this season, and a lot of them will have come from home. So they'll probably step it up a bit, but that's to say that, like I say, Eastleigh are playing well, and it'll be a tough game. It'll be tough for Notts County to find 2.
Good stuff, right, well, it's good to see also it says Notts County now on the live stream, not Norwich. And like I said, the games are starting to go into the second half, as we can see, so yeah. But how would you sum up the half times in the Champions League games?
Manchester City's performance, obviously a first half hat-trick for Haaland. They've had 12 attempts on goal compared to just 1 from Leipzig. The Leipzig one was dangerous. It was a Timo Werner shot which was on target and did sort of panic Ederson, and at times they've been aggressive in the midfield, Leipzig, and they've sort of caused a bit of concern. But they haven't had a single corner, they've been offside a couple of times. I don't really think they've got any chance of coming back here.
Right, and in the Inter Milan game?
I mean, there has been no real, other than that Uribe chance at the very beginning of the game, which would have probably been the Champions League goal of the season. It's been quite scrappy. There's been no real individual quality. This left-hand side of Porto has been running the game, to be fair to them. Galeno, the Brazilian left midfielder, has been bombing up and down the wing, being tricky, doing little passes infield. It's been nice to see Inter Milan haven't turned up. They're a team that's not going to compete in their league. I know they're second, however, I think
18 points clear.
Napoli have just run away with it. They're a team that's, I think, dead on their feet.
Yeah. Right. Good. Well, we can go. We can go to Bristol Rovers, where there has been a half-time substitution down in that part of the world, James.
I'm off for Ryan Loft. I understand it's an attacking change. So let's see if it pays off. Yeah, so 1 substitution, but we're back on the way here. 1-0 Wickham.
Good stuff. Right. I've heard there's been a goal at the Millwall game, but I don't know if we can hear from Owen now. Can we?
Hi Sam, yeah, there has been a goal. It's 1-0 to the home side. Millwall have scored. It was a long throw from Ryan Leonard. It ended up into something we see in the Six Nations on the weekend. An absolute scrum on the penalty spot. Millwall's just gone close again. A good block by Swansea. But it comes out of the scrum, as I was saying, back to Charlie Cresswell for Millwall. And it's blasted into the bottom corner. 1-0 Millwall.
The perfect start for Millwall at the start of the second half. As the 7:45 games are starting to come into the second half now, as they're all starting to kick off. Blackpool have just gone 5 goals up in the 48th minute, so that will be good for them, as they are definitely having a tough season in the Championship this year.
In the middle and played it out left to Jody Jones. He took a shot, but Cisse there was blocking it. But it's not much really going on, really. They're just Notts County have got a bit more of the ball, like I said, but I can't see them scoring at the moment, apart from that chance there. But they haven't really looked like it so far. But 5 minutes gone in the second half, still 1-0 to Eastleigh.
Good stuff, good stuff. Right. So, like I said, around in the next 5 minutes, we should be going into the start of the 8 o'clock games, 2 Champions League games, and of course Middlesbrough, with Stoke City, of course, scoring right on the cusp of half-time, which could be a massive blow mentally for Middlesbrough.
Yeah, well, Middlesbrough, I think, have got players to bring off the bench, though. Marcus Force is a player. Middlesbrough do obviously need a goal if they're going to keep on the hunt for the automatic promotion slots. I think Marcus Force is a player they can definitely bring off the bench. He signed from Brentford at the start of this season, the 23-year-old. He scored 8 goals and got 4 assists. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we see a bit of a tactical switch-up, or maybe he comes on for the likes of Archer or Riley McCree. Just getting a replay again for Middlesbrough's goal. Really poor, like I said beforehand, from Ben Pearson. But some really nice work from the likes of Archer, McCree and Chuba Akpom.
Please, if you are still in the building...
Right, I don't think you hear an announcement. We are not at a train station.
Thank you.
Thank you for that update.
Just caught me off guard there.
That was one of the Solent University people giving us a nice update there to use our own building. Thank you. We'll come back to him, I'm sure, at one point. Right, we are coming into the second half now of the Champions League games. Obviously, I think Leipzig will be not going into the second half with the best of moods.
No, I mean, still a while to go. We're just seeing sort of views in the halftime analysis of that penalty again. There's been a couple penalties, of course, one in Tom's game as well. I just don't think that it's a penalty. It's so harsh now, the handball rule. It literally grazes his arm. The ball comes like that. He does head it onto his arm. It didn't affect the trajectory or the power of the ball, if you ask me. I'm not a qualified referee, of course, but it's so inconsistent. It's like you say, the referee style in England, in Europe even, I think the UEFA referees are so much better, but it's so inconsistent across different borders. And I mean, Manchester City will love that. I don't think that would even be given in the Premier League based on what I've seen recently with penalty decisions. And it's game over. Leipzig are out now.
I think you made a really good point, Reece. It didn't affect the trajectory of the ball. The point is that Diaz's header was always going to go back towards goal, and it just brushed off the forearm of Henriks. It just seemed really harsh. And it's changed the complexion of the game, because since then, Leipzig's heads have dropped, City have been on the front foot, and now it looks like the tie's over.
But it was just seconds later that Haaland scored his second goal. Dare I say, Ronaldo-esque, to be fair, the way he's leapt, the height he gets on this jump is ridiculous. If you haven't seen it, find it online, because he just soars above the defenders around him and just puts it in the back of the net. He has so many aspects to his game, and that's what I love about Haaland. He's a great personality, but he can score him with his left, right foot, and of course with his head as well.
Also, just speaking on penalties, on the weekend, of course, Mohamed Salah against Bournemouth missed a heck of a penalty, going absolutely wide. Not something you see often from Mohamed Salah, especially because given how normally cold he is finishing.
Well, I think he was out of practice.
Yeah, true.
Since last April. We'll just blame it. He was out of practice, but it was so out of character of him. But it's what it is. Ooh.
I do have a question for you, Tom. Yeah. You've obviously watched a lot of Eastleigh this season. Are they a team that stays strong in the second half, or do they often
Yeah, they've had a lot of 1-0 wins, and defensively they stay strong. They don't really, obviously every team gives away the odd chance, but nothing that's made you go, oh, they could have scored that or whatever. But I think Notts County, like you asked me earlier, just picking up the pace a little bit here. It seems to be all them. The ball comes in, it's headed wide. I didn't see that. I think it was Langstaff that headed that wide. But yeah, they have just turned up the tempo a little bit here, Notts County. But
it's a whole different kettle of fish, I think, with Notts County. I think Notts County and Wrexham seem to be a tier above. There seem to be Football League sides in the making. But also, Reece, if you just confirm, is that a perfect hat trick from Haaland?
I believe it depends. It comes off his
knee. Yeah,
we'll have to see. The last goal was so scrappy that it sort of bounced off different. His legs, didn't it? It went back, different body parts. So I will find out for you.
Yeah,
I think it could be.
Right, I've just heard there has been another goal at the Den. Owen, what has happened? Right, sorry, we'll go back to Owen in a little bit with the update there. Coventry have gone 1-0 up against Wigan away, thanks to I'm gonna absolutely ruin this pronunciation. Gyökeres.
Oh yeah.
Did I get it right?
Gyökeres, yeah.
Gyökeres, sorry, my apologies. He's scored for Coventry as they go 1-0 up against Wigan. Peterborough 4-1 up against Burton Albion. Blackpool 5-1 up against QPR.
About it beforehand. QPR,
I know.
At some point in the season, they were top of the league, and ever since Michael Beale went to Rangers,
ridiculous.
they're in a relegation dogfight at the moment.
Right. Okay. Okay. I've heard that we can now go back to the den. Owen.
I don't know what's happened, but Swansea have scored a goal, crushed out some technical difficulties, and Swansea have just put one in. I have no idea who scored for you, but the Millwall's second goal was scored by Andreas Vargasama, cut back by Honeyman. I'm not too sure who scored for Swansea, but I'll get back to you on that when I find out. Back to you, Sam.
Thank you, Owen. Well, 2 goals in the space of 2 minutes. Not good stuff going on there. Burton Albion just scored a second goal against Peterborough. It's now 4-2 over there. Right. What is going on?
I can come back to you and tell you it was a perfect hat-trick for Haaland. Mixing up the words in my mouth because he scores so many hat-tricks. His 5th of the season in all competitions. 1 left-footed goal, which did come off his knee, but it still counts as a left-footed goal. 1 right-footed goal, which was the penalty, and 1 headed goal, which was that majestic leap. I think he's a different level above everyone else in the Premier League right now, I think. I know Harry Kane is close.
Kane in 2016-17.
Yeah,
I think he might be ahead of Kane.
And Kane is close. Kane's the second highest scorer in the league.
I would, just to say, we've had a goal at Petersfield. Sorry, just to interrupt. Tom.
Yeah, it's 2-0 now to Petersfield. Kieran Alcock, the right back, has picked up the ball on the right-hand side of the box and he's fired a great low shot into the bottom right-hand corner. It was much deserved for Petersfield. They've started off the second half really well, and it's 2-0 here. It's just started raining, actually. But yeah, 2-0.
Lovely stuff there. Just quickly, sorry, we also have an update from Bristol. James.
Yeah, Bristol Rovers had a few chances in quick succession. Josh Coburn and John Marquis put a tease and ball, but no one could get on the end of it. It's sort of only a matter of time Bristol Rovers get an equaliser. But the atmosphere is amazing here. So yeah, really good game. Still 1-0 Wycombe, but I'll be surprised if Bristol Rovers don't score. If you've got a bet on for both teams to score, don't cash out. Leave it.
I will not cash out. Don't you worry about that. Right. So we should be coming to kick-off now for the second half.
Yes. Just approaching. Sure.
It's been quiet from you.
It has been.
It has been very quiet from Portugal.
As I've been sat in the corner here by myself, nothing to really report on. Hopefully the second half fixes that for me. I do think Porto are still looking the stronger side, and whether or not they have enough in them to get 2 goals to go through in 90 minutes or take it to extra time, obviously we're going to find out. But yeah.
Have you enjoyed it? Has it still been a good game?
I think later on, when I'm going to struggle to sleep, I'll stick this game back on. It hasn't been a Champions League classic, as I think we're expecting tomorrow from some of the games. Yes.
Well, the Jose Mourinho derby is not living up to its potential. Obviously, Jose Mourinho managing both Porto and Inter Milan, both to Champions Leagues, of course, legendary Porto side, and also a legendary Inter Milan side.
That man side.
Great start.
Champions League. Who do you think wins it this year then?
I'll go Bayern Munich.
I always want to be like Man City. Man City are going to win it this year, but then they don't. There's something that goes wrong.
Yeah, they don't strike you. They don't have that clinical. I know they're a brilliant side. They've got some of the best strikers. Some of the best strikers in the league at least. I just don't see them have that absolute quality to. I'm ready to eat my words, and I will eat my words at some point. But I think you're going to see Madrid or Napoli or Bayern be the ones to go ahead and just win it comfortably.
Napoli are really interesting,
yeah.
because you don't know just how they'll fare against the
Europe's elite. You know, they're absolutely smashing it in the Serie A. I think there's going to be
Goal to Notts County.
It's
Sorry
been a
to
goal.
interrupt.
That's okay.
I think it was Ruben Rodriguez. It was a 4-on-2 situation. Notts County running down the right-hand side, and he 2 EC players back and 4 Notts County players forward. It got played into Langstaff, who took a shot, and I think it was blocked, and it fell to Ruben Rodriguez, the attacking midfielder, and he's taken a touch. He's taken it round one of the centre back. I didn't quite see who it was, and he's just passed. Joe McDonald has dived left, and Rodriguez has placed it into the keeper's bottom right. I'm just seeing the replay here. Oh, Longstaff actually laid it off to him, and he took it past Aaron Martin, and sent the keeper the other way. Good goal. He's fired up the crowd by lifting his hands up in the air. So we might have a game on our hands. Just over an hour gone, 1-1.
We may have a game on our hands indeed, and of course that could be costly for Eastleigh, who are fighting for promotion into League 2. Portsmouth have just gone 2-0 up against Accrington, thanks to a Hackett Fairchild goal. And Morecambe have just scored against Charlton, but Charlton are still 3-1 up.
Kai, obviously you were talking about eating your words. I hope I can feed them to you, because I think it's going to be Manchester City. I will take a lot of joy in watching City lift the Champions League. I will take a lot of joy in watching Haaland. No, I think they're a great team. I mean, maybe the way that they get their money is not great, but the way they play is like spellbinding at times. For me, they are such a fun team to watch. Even when they're not at their best, and maybe it's because they've got Haaland this season, even when they're not at their best, they're 3-0 up.
Speaking about the money, speaking on the money terms, it's interesting. A lot of clubs lately, like a lot of the top 6 clubs who have not been bought by these kind of rich owners, have been kind of putting their clubs up for sale. Owners, obviously, Manchester United have been in talks with an owner from Qatar. Spurs were in talks with a club of Qatar. Apparently, it's interesting. Do you reckon in like 5-10 years this could be the direction of these teams?
I think we're looking at a Super League in our own country. To be honest,
I think we already have.
He already has. Yeah, I think it already has. To be honest.
Well, interesting. I try not to go off. As a fellow Spurs fan, where do you stand with Daniel Levy?
Well, I mean, how long of this programme do we have? I think I'm not particularly the biggest fan of him. I appreciate what he's done for the club. You know, I remember my dad, talking to me about in the 90s when the Spurs were, about to go out of business. And obviously when they bought the club for about, what was it, about a few million they bought the club for in the early 2000s? And now the club is worth, about 20 million or something. And then now the club is worth 2-3 billion pounds, and we have a fantastic new stadium. We have a fantastic training ground. But as all people joke with Spurs fans, we have nothing to show for it on the trophy department. For a team that won a trophy every decade in the 90s, every time the year ended in one, of course, we'd win a trophy. My dad grew up watching, us win the UEFA Cup, FA Cup, multiple FA Cups. I mean, when we last won the FA Cup in '91, we were the most successful FA Cup team, and now Arsenal and Man United have taken over us, and I'm sure many other clubs will overtake us. I just think the club is not going in the right direction. But anyway, enough about Tottenham. I barely out talking about Tottenham. But there has been a goal at Bristol. Sorry to cut you off. Let's go over to Bristol. Go on, James.
Yeah, Wickham have doubled their lead here, just past the 60th minute. Gareth McCleary did really well down the right-hand side. He drifted through everyone, found himself in a lot of room, and then just put a ball in. And Chem Campbell headed it in. Really simple finish, too easy to be honest. And Bristol Rovers would be disappointed because they were pushing for an equaliser, but now they're 2 behind, and it's going to be a big ask if they want all 3 points. 2-0 Wickham.
Lovely stuff. Thank you very much. Right, Tom.
Reece thought he saw a handball. He's probably watching my. I think I'm watching this game. And
it's a goal.
As we're watching,
really
go to Reece now.
I mean,
there's been a goal.
10, 15, 20 passes in the build-up there. And Man City have made it 4-0 through Ilkay Gundogan. Now the captain, I believe he's taken the armband over. So then maybe there was a a change there. But wow, what a goal. He picks it up on the edge of the box. He plays a pass down to the wing. The ball comes back to him. He chops once, steadies himself and puts it into the far corner, rolls it across the floor, sends the keeper the complete opposite direction. And he's a player with so much prestige, Gundogan. I think he's a luxury player. Not the most aesthetically pleasing maybe, but just consistently amazing over the years. He's proved it again here. A little spark of magic. He's the cool head in Manchester City's midfield and definitely not offside. I think when things are falling apart, when things aren't going so well for City, he's the one that steps up. But I mean, he's just putting all the misery, compiling all the misery right now onto Leipzig.
Bish, bash, bosh. I think that game is done. That's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's fine.
He's doing so
well. I know.
Lots of county just went close there. They could have just could have taken the lead. I didn't see who played the ball in, but Langstaff again. He's getting himself involved a bit now. Wasn't really there in the first half, but he just slid in. It was inches away. He had an empty net from just sliding. If he'd slid a fraction earlier, he would have got that and just placed it into the net. But it remains 1-1. Eastleigh can't get the ball at the moment. They get it and they give it away, or they're getting tackled, and it's Notts County. Yeah, have really turned up the pressure. But yeah, still 1-1.
Right, well, we can go to the Den, where apparently something has happened. Owen, what's going on?
It should be level here at the Den. The Swansea's goal has reinvigorated this Welsh side. The fans are reinvigorated. It was a cross pull back to Joel Perrault, and it was an awful shot straight at George Long. That should be making the net bulge every single time, but it's not, and it's still 2-1 to Millwall.
Wow. Surprising stuff. Lively at the Den, as it always is. Peterborough have just gone 5-2 up against Burton Albion, and player's just been sent off at Mansfield. Stephen Quinn just been sent off for a serious foul. What's going on in the Middlesbrough game?
Yeah, it's been a pretty slow start to the second half of the Riverside. Jacob Brown went down with a head injury as Lenihan led in with the elbow, but he's back up to his feet and he's playing again now. But an interesting stat just came up that Middlesbrough in the second half have scored 40 goals and conceded just 16. That ranks them second in both the goals for and goals conceded. So you think there's another gear to go into for Michael Carrick's men? Like I said, they've got players to bring off the bench. It's been pretty scrappy, not really too much fluid football in the middle of the park. Good interception there just by Hover as Middlesbrough just pick it back up. Strong challenge by Tuan Zabi. But yeah, like I said, 6.5 minutes into this second half, no shots on target, no shots on goal. Yeah, we'll hope for something a bit more interesting in the next few moments.
All right. Well, Reece, I just want to talk to you about that fourth goal. Would you say that was a quintessential Pep Guardiola-esque goal?
Oh, definitely, with all the passing. I mean, this is what I mean. Even when they're not at their best, they eventually flare into something beautiful, I suppose. Leipzig have lost their last 3 before this game, their last 3 away games in England, and they've conceded an average of 4 goals in the process, and it's 4 here tonight. I think, for me, I wanted to see a little bit more from Gvardiol, of course, who's always linked with Chelsea and supposed to be coming to the Premier League. Not really a great performance from him. He made a good block a minute ago, and I guess one centre-back can't carry the whole team. I think most people had higher hopes for Leipzig. Okay, they're not the best team in Germany, but if you look at the Premier League table, you could argue Man City aren't the best team in England. You would have thought they'd bring a game to Manchester City, especially after that 1-1 draw in the first leg. But you see this often with Guardiola. He will slightly underestimate an opponent and then refuse to. He won't be complacent. And even now, 4-0 up, could be 5. And it's 5. It's 5 with Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland with his 4th goal of the game. He jumps in celebration. I mean, I picked a great game to get my mug on the screen because there's just goals all over the place in this one.
Guys,
no, unfortunately not.
I have great news. Yes. We have an update from Farnborough, which means we get to go to the main man himself, Liam Harding. What is going on over there?
It's still only 1-0. I can't believe it. It's ridiculous. It's just such a scrappy game. And no one has really had any shots on target in this half. I mean, it's been a bit of a game of tug of war, to say the least. But I just want to say thank you to Charlotte Arthur. If you're watching tonight, it means an awful lot to my heart, and I hope it means a lot to you. But sorry, there's not too much happening tonight here. We'll come back when it's full time, probably.
Lovely. Thank you, Liam. Right, Liam Harding, everyone. We're going to go to Bristol, where there is an update from James. What's going on in Bristol?
Bristol Rovers will be wondering how they've not scored this game. They've just hit the post, and I don't know how it's not gotten in. It was a goal line scramble from Wickham, who eventually managed to clear. Bristol Rovers do have a free kick now, just outside the box. I don't know if you want to stay with me, but they have been putting under pressure. Still fighting to try and get, just try and salvage something from this game, to be honest. He's lining up now to take it.
Thank you very much. Right, just before we go over to Romsey to talk to Emma, there is a penalty for who? For Notts County.
As a handball. So we've seen 2 penalties in this game. Ruben Rodriguez has stood with the ball here, looking to get his second. I think it hit. It was either Charlie Carter or Oscar Rutherford's hand, and the referee took no hesitation, pointing straight to the spot. Ruben Rodriguez's arms went straight up in the air. As he's just booked Michael Kelly, I think the ref, so maybe it came off his arm. But yeah, Notts County got a penalty. Come back to me when you've been to Romsey.
Lovely. We will now go to Romsey, where Emma is waiting for us for an update. Oh, don't worry. We are going to Luke, where there apparently has been a red card. Paul.
Yeah, sending off here for Paul Town. Declan Rose a straight red, crunching challenge on Callum Ryan Phillipson. At the second half, Merthyr Town have had a couple of chances for us to save from the Paul Town goalkeeper, but still 1-0 Paul Town.
Thank you very much. Right. Has Eastleigh saved their chances potentially of going up?
Yes, the keeper with the most clean sheets in the league has just pulled up an incredible double save. He saved the penalty. Of course, Ruben Rodriguez was closest to. He followed it up, and Joe McDonald got up and saved it again. Great double save and palmed it out for a corner. Notts County had the corner. They've done nothing with it, and now they're just bringing it forward from their own halfway line. But the guy in form for Eastleigh has kept them in the game. Still 1-0, 71 minutes gone.
Brilliant stuff. Right, I've heard there may have actually been something happening in the intergame.
There was. It woke me up a little bit. A lovely ball was floated in over from Uribe to Galeno, the left mid, who I mentioned at half-time. And the ball was floated in. All he needed was a slight touch on the unrushing Onana, but he just missed the ball. It was one of those where you sit there, head in hands, thinking, if he got the touch, be a comfortable goal.
Goal as well over here. Sorry, keep going.
That's fine, it's fine.
Oh, I'm so sorry. The Haaland waits for the crowd.
Not again.
5 fingers
He's
up.
done it again.
5 goals for Erling Haaland today.
That's ridiculous.
He's waving to his dad in the top of the stands as well in one of the executive boxes. 5 fingers on his hand, 5 goals in the back of the net tonight. I don't know. I am out of words. He actually could. I think that's 33 goals now.
That is, that is just one word. Ridiculous. Right, we can go to Romsey, where in a bit of a lower leagues, where Emma can give us an update over there. Emma.
Hi Sam, I'm back after halftime and I'm enjoying the game once again. It started raining a little bit and I caught up with some of the fans while in the clubhouse, but I'm excited to bring the rest of them to you later.
Good stuff. So how have you found the game so far? Obviously we haven't come back to you in about half an hour, 40 minutes now.
Yeah, it's definitely been a lot of fun. Romsey is definitely the game tonight. They are now up 5-0 and they continue to score and do much better. Many players from the other team have now walked through and are in the change room changing cleats and making adjustments so that hopefully they can come back. But I look forward to getting the scoop from the fans as well in the audience.
Good stuff. So how would you, because obviously we're kind of not too far off now from the end of the game, how would you sum up your kind of first experience?
It's been great. I've really enjoyed it. Got to chat with some of the people in the clubhouse, and they obviously were like, "You're not from here," and I definitely let soccer slip out once, and then they teased me a little bit. But other than that, I'm definitely feeling more and more at home as I spend more time here. Good stuff.
Well, we love to hear it. Right, well, plenty of score updates. Obviously, Man City is 6-0 up Him and Nora. Just some quick updates around the country. Chesterfield are 3-0 up thanks to an own goal. Charlton are 4-1 up now against Morecambe. Newport have equalised against Wimbledon thanks to Chelsea. Watford are 3-0 up against Birmingham thanks to some. I was going to pronounce his name. I was going to screw up. Asama. Thank you. And good news for me, Barnet has gone 1-0 up against Yeovil thanks to Potter, not Harry. Right, what is going on in the? Let's go to Notts County. Tom.
Yeah, well, I see a bit all over the place, really. I can't work out who's playing where. 1 minute, Danny Whitehall's down the middle where he should be, and then he's hogging the left-hand touchline. So I'm just trying to work out who's playing where and what formation they're playing. But as the keeper's just almost bringing it to the halfway line there for Notts County. No real pressure from me. See, I think they need to make a change. We've got 15 minutes left. I don't think they haven't made a change yet. So maybe some fresh legs will either help them keep the draw or they can get the winner here. But it's all to play for here at Meadow Lane. 15 minutes to go. Still 1-1.
Stuff. Well, let's get an update from the Riverside. Ollie, what's been going on up in the northeast?
Yeah, I was really hoping for a big second half after the end of the first, but it's been really, really boring. Like the last couple of minutes, I think the biggest chance has come from maybe a free kick that Johnny Howson has taken. You might remember him from his time at Norwich in the Premier League. But yeah, about 25 yards out, looking to catch Jack Bonham out at the near post with his right foot. But the keeper sprawled across and made a pretty routine save, one he was expected to make, but an important one nonetheless. Michael Carrick just talking to Jonathan Woodgate, some Tottenham links there. But yeah, he's just looking at some changes to be made. And like I said, at half-time, just after the second half whistle was blown, I think Marcus Force is definitely someone who has to come on for Borough. But Stoke have been good. I've been really impressed with Hover right back. I've been impressed with Bonham in goal. I think this game is definitely there for the taking. But I'm going to go to Tom.
Well, yeah, quickly, we'll go to Tom quickly.
I just said Eastleigh needs to make bring some fresh legs on, and you can tell they're tired. And it's Ruben Rodriguez who scored the first and missed a penalty, and he's just scored again. So he probably should have had a hat-trick tonight. But yeah, I think the ball's just come across, and Eastleigh just not really cleared it, and no one's really taken control. And he's just run into the box, and first time finished it into the bottom right-hand corner. But yeah, it's a shame for Eastleigh, but Notts County did pick up the gear or two, even after missing that penalty. But yeah, Ruben Rodriguez has been their main guy tonight. So it's 2-1.
Good stuff.
Notts County.
Right, we can go to Petersfield, where we can get an update. Tom.
Yeah, it's 3-0 here at Petersfield. Another brilliant goal. I tell you what, I've just heard that Erling Haaland scored a hat-trick today. If he scored a goal as good as this, I'd be surprised. Connor Hawes picked up the ball on the left side of the box. He's delivered a great ball to the back post, and it's been met by Cameron Smith, who's thumped a volley past the goalkeeper. Petersfield are going to win this. There's been a raft of substitutions since then, but yeah, I'd be amazed if Newport can mount a comeback.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Right, it's just some quick score updates from the conference. York City has equalised against Altrincham. That's 1-1, and Bournemouth has gone 1-0 up against Southend. Right, we have an interview from Romsey. Emma can give us an exclusive interview. Emma.
Hi, Sam. I'm here with a few fans. Can you guys give me your names?
Andrew. Duncan.
And how long have you guys been Romsey fans?
Quite a few years.
Coming up 10 years now, I've been coming down here.
Amazing. Do you guys live in the area, or are you...
About 5 minutes walk away.
Yeah, not far from that.
And are you always Romsey fans, or do you have another team you support? Why do you love it here?
I don't know. It's good. You know, you feel part of the club. You know, you're close to what's going on. It's just a good atmosphere, kind of, usually, when we're not losing 6-0. Yeah, it's good. I enjoy it. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And that's all we have from the field today. I'll come back to you with another fan later.
Lovely. Thank you, Emma. Getting straight in with the fans there at Romsey. Right. What's going on? What's going on, guys?
The Etihad is going to be the end. Go home wanting a little bit more from the game tonight. Has replaced him. He's reportedly signed a new contract with Manchester City, obviously reflecting his Premier League and World Cup wins recently. Really bright youngster, allegedly now on about £50,000 a week, and he will be at the club until 2028. Calvin Phillips and Sergio Gomez have also been given a nod to come on. John Stones and Rodri have come off.
Still with us, Kai?
Just about. The ball's floated in, and I'll be honest, I don't recognise the player, which is really poor of me. But it's floated in, and it's just been skied, probably about 4 yards out from the angle. So you'd expect it to not result in a goal, but it'd be nice to have a shot on target. But yeah, I don't want to keep saying it's scrappy. I don't want to keep saying it's.
It is what it is.
It is what it is, exactly, and I can't do anything more than that.
No, you can't. That's just sometimes how football goes. Right.
This game is
Guys,
so boring, Sam.
we have an update.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, no, it's all right. Because it's good. It's from Farnborough. There's been a goal. But for who, Liam Harding?
It's not a piece here at Farnborough. It's absolutely amazing. No man has ever seen anything like it before. It was Jordan Norris-Williams who had a deflection, put it to the back of the Hampton Waterlooville net. Farnborough have come close again, could get a second goal tonight. They may just get it. They've been famous this season for getting late equalisers. Late equalisers and winners. So, just stay in touch with us. You don't know what might happen. Thank you. SHG.
Thank you, Liam. Liam Harding, everyone. The most excited man in that whole stadium. Right, Yeovil just scored against Barnet. That makes it 2-1. As also Barnet just scored a few minutes before to make it 2-0. And yeah.
Yeah, confirmation of some substitutions as well here, Sam. Marcus Force is now coming on. Johnny Howson's going to be the man replaced, so that does show it's an attacking change. Howson's been playing as the 6, complementing Hayden Hackney in the centre of the park, and Archer has also come off for Barlaser, who I have to admit I've not heard of before, but we'll see if the number 7 can give me Stoke a run for their money. But 2 changes that Carrick's made. Alex Neil hasn't made any from the Stoke dugout, so Middlesbrough certainly feel like this game is there for the taking by making these attacking changes.
Good stuff. Right, well...
Just interrupt.
No, go for
Stoke have actually responded with a change. Morgan Fox has come on. He's instructed some of his defenders, and I think he's typically a left back. So potentially a change of shape for the away side. Maybe we're looking at a 5 at the back with just everyone slotting off a little bit more. Actually, just confirmation is for Axel Tuanzebe. So Morgan Fox maybe playing in a makeshift centre-back role. Tuanzebe is having a bit of a treatment done to his head, maybe a blow from the elbow or shoulder from another player. But looks like maybe a like-for-like change, actually, and I could just see Fox to the left of Wilmot for Stoke. So, yeah, a like-for-like change for Stoke, but I think Middlesbrough just changing their tactics up just a tad.
Good stuff. Both teams still trying to find a winner in that game at the Riverside. Not much obviously going on at the moment. Both not many goals coming in from all over the leagues. Kai, go on.
This game, City
Golfing quality, Tom.
There is a little bit of a golfing
I'll
quality.
just put that case out there.
You think Real Madrid are overrated?
I wouldn't surprise me if Liverpool were able to overturn that deficit. They've done it before.
At the Bernabeu.
The last, right, a little bit of a stat for you, mate. The last 2 games that have happened on the 15th of April at the Bernabeu have been Barcelona, Real Madrid lost 4-0. Levante last year lost 4-0. Both the same dates. It's written in the stars. I don't believe in fate, however, I believe in it. It's happening. Darwin Núñez, watch his space.
It's Tiny Temper, it's written in the stars. Right, we can go to Emma Romsey, where apparently she's with the chairman of the club, which will actually be quite an interesting interview. Emma.
Yes, Sam, I am with the chairman. I have here Ken. And how long have you been the chairman, Ken?
26 plus years, yeah.
And I am just so curious to know why you love it here.
It's just one of them things that gets into your blood, and I've never left. So
that's so heartwarming. It's great to hear from you. And I hope
I've been here 40 years altogether. Yeah.
That is a long time. And do you plan to stay that much longer?
Well, until I sort of peg out. Yeah, why not?
It's great to chat with you, and I hope that you have a better outcome than as we're looking right now.
It's just a cup match, so.
Anyways, thank you, Sam. Back to you.
Right on the,
Thank you very much.
That's what you meant to do.
Thank you very much, Emma. We have an update from Bristol. James, what can you tell us?
Yeah, there was just a substitution here. A bit surprising to me. Bristol Rovers brought off Josh Coburn. For me, one of their, he was looking one of the most lively forwards, and they've subbed on Glenn Whelan, who some of you might remember from Stoke. So it's a defensive change considering they're 2-0 down. Josh Coburn might have been tired, but the game's gone a bit flat, to be honest. I'd be surprised if Bristol Rovers can get themselves back into this game now. Still 2-0 Wycombe.
Right, well, I've just been informed there's been a goal at Farnborough. Liam, give it to me straight. Who scored?
I told you that Farnborough's famous City will get the goals, and my words have stood. They just got a second goal. It's amazing. Seas are going crazy. And it was, who got the goal yet? Okay, well, it was within the box just seconds ago, but I tell you what, it's one of the best goals man could ever see tonight, and it's just amazing. They are within 3 points of the National League South playoffs. Let's go!
He was so excited, he broke the camera, ladies and gentlemen. That is the level of punditry we have from the one and only Liam Harding. We do love him here at Solent University. Right, No,
I just want to say, just 5 minutes left to go in this game. EC have made some subs, but probably a bit too little, too late. They brought on Ryan Hill and Jake Scrimshaw. Bit of attacking substitutions to try and get a goal to at least salvage a point here for EC. But it's Notts County have dominated probably since the second half, really, as they just go through it. And EC just look tired. They're missing a few key players, a couple of full-backs and a couple of attacking players. Rodriguez is in here looking for his hat-trick. No, he's blocked. But yeah, probably going to all 3 points probably going to go to the team in second place here. But yeah, about 5 minutes to go.
Lovely. Right, just some quick score updates from around the nation. Stevenage go 1-0 up against Crewe. Wigan equalised against Coventry thanks to an own goal. Portsmouth go 3-0 up. Altrincham go 2-1 up against York City, and Chesterfield have just scored their 4th against Wealdstone. So that is all currently the score updates we have in the game. Reese, what is going on at the demolition of the Etihad?
It's another change. This one's for RB Leipzig, and it is Danny Olmo coming on for Szoboszlai, and he's been so disappointing tonight, Szoboszlai. I think he's one of the standout players, the Hungarian, in this Leipzig squad. They have got some bright young talents. I mean, I even like the look of Danny Olmo, who's come on to replace him. Ollie, I know you're a huge fan. He's a really bright prospect, and people expected him to maybe be a difference maker tonight, but his evening's over. I mean, 6-0 down, of course, you can't really do anything, but I was hoping that he would spearhead the attack a bit more than he has. I haven't really even seen him on the ball at all tonight.
Just had a red
No,
card.
go for it.
Just had a red card in our game. I wasn't really looking. The game was a bit flat, and I think the ball had stopped, and I saw, as Notts County have just scored. It's their top goal scorer as well, Langstaff. So
3-1.
That's all that's all 3 points going to Notts County. But yeah, I just saw the ref walking over to the bench, and he was speaking to the 4th official, but not near the benches. And then he kind of walked off the pitch, the ref, along the touchline, and just gave a red card. I think it was to the goalkeeping coach of EC. So it's not really no one really to worry about in terms of player-wise, but. Yeah, again, another red card for EC, so that's now 6.
Interesting.
4 in 6 games. But yeah, and then Notts County have just scored. Longstaff makes it 35 goals this season for him in the league. 3 minutes to go, 3-1 Notts County.
Right, we have another update from Romsey, Emma, who is making me completely jealous as she has a pint and has to drink it in front of us just to really rub it in. How is the pint?
Well, it's delicious. Someone accidentally just told me that I had to down it, and that's why you caught me mid-gulp.
I'm sorry,
I'm enjoying myself now.
I've just been told that you have to down the pint. It's part of the Solent University tradition.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go, live.
We like to drink with Emma, because Emma is our mate. And when we drink with Emma, she gets it down an 8.
It's a solid performance in Romsey.
And those would be my Canadian roots.
Going to come in straight in.
That's
from
all
over
I
the
got.
Pond. From over the pond, a downed pint. What pint was it?
I think it was. I can't remember which one I got. Pilsner, light beer, obviously.
Emma down in Romsey, living the dream, wishing that was all of us right now. Thank you, Emma. Right, so that was something you would not see on Sky Sports or Match of the Day, only on Solent Sports News. Right, Blackpool have just scored their 6th against QPR. Unbelievable. I mean, we were talking earlier about QPR, just about the fall from QPR has been incredible, amazing. It's been incredible. Just because they're top of the league, top of the league, all the way down to near the bottom.
Almost not clear. Definitely one of the names in that hat to go up, and they've just completely fallen. I don't think Rangers doing much better at the moment either, are they?
I was going to say, obviously, they've fallen since they lost Michael Beale, who went to
Rangers.
Famously turned down a job in the Premier League and said that he wanted to stay at QPR and build something there.
A couple of weeks later,
off to Rangers he went.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's been really downhill since that.
I think he had links with Rangers, though, didn't he? I think when Steven Gerrard was there, he was almost his right-hand man. I think maybe he probably has... He obviously hasn't cut ties with the Glasgow club, and I think he obviously still knows players in the hierarchy. And it's guaranteed European football, no matter what level, every year.
Yeah, Rangers are still a big club, but just it's interesting. I couldn't imagine personally QPR being in League One. You know, obviously it's like Sunderland when they went down to League One. No one. I mean, of our generation, we've always grown up seeing Sunderland in the Premier League as one of the big clubs. And again, I can't imagine QPR going down to League One. We'll see what happens there, obviously, over time. Accrington has just scored a late consolation goal against Portsmouth, but they still find themselves 3-1 down. And that's currently the square set. Kai, what's going on?
A couple of changes. Lukaku is now on, which is going to be interesting to see how he manage if he's able to help him to go through. But Dumfries is down, clutching the back of his knee after a challenge from Marko Grujic, obviously ex-Liverpool. Who's had a great season for them after signing permanently a couple of years ago. But Dumfries down in a lot of pain. It'll be Bastoni's just gone off with an injury as well, so De Vries come on in his place. So that's 2 or 3 injuries that Inter have had in the last couple of minutes alone. So really up against it tonight.
Well, you could see you haven't fallen asleep from the game.
Exactly.
Not the most exciting games down in Portugal. That game currently looking like it may even go to extra time. We will see then.
This second half has been so poor. As Giles actually gets in on the left-hand side, his cross is massively over here. But if you're going to take one thing from this game, I think it's to say that Ben Pearson is a rubbish footballer. He was at fault. He was at fault for Middlesbrough's goal, and he's just bundled into the back of I think it was Akpom, and earned himself a yellow card. But another stat has just come up that Middlesbrough have scored 13 goals in the last 15 minutes in the Championship this season. That's the 3rd most. So hopefully some sign to maybe reinvigorate this game, revitalise this game, because the first half an hour there's been absolutely nothing going on. Marcus Forss, as I said, has come on. He is also in the book for a late challenge on Morgan Fox, and he just came up, travelled with the ball from the halfway line. Maybe it looked like something to happen, but he got the weight of his pass all wrong. But Stoke have had a couple of pot shots from about 25, 30 yards out. Tyrese Campbell, I said, is probably their brightest spark, especially from an attacking point of view. He tried an almost Papis Cisse-esque half volley that just went over the bar, and then Will Smallbone, a couple of moments after, a long shot that just went wide. Ball's played through to Chuba Akpom. It's a great save by Bonham, and Force messes up the rebound, but the linesman's flag has gone up. So that doesn't count as having a good moment in the game. This game is still really boring.
Is it starting to ramp up on the northeast? Probably not. We can go to Petersfield, where it is full-time over there. Tom?
Yeah, it's finished 3-0 here at Petersfield. They were thoroughly the better team. It's just started really chucking it down with rain. Green now made it 1-0 in the first half when he rounded the keeper and slotted it home. The right back, I've forgotten his name, but he made it 2 when he fired a great shot into the bottom corner. And then the third goal was the pick of the bunch. Cam Smith smashing home a great volley after good work in the build-up by Hoare. So yeah, it's finished 3-0 here. And there's also a sin bin, which you don't see much of. But yeah, there's a sin bin for dissent for one of the Newport players, I believe. So yeah, thoroughly good night's work for Petersfield, and they're pushing for promotion, and on this form, they've got a good chance of going up.
Obviously, yeah, I saw sin bin recently at handball. Do you feel like the weather tonight took a big part in the game? Obviously, it looks lovely there, as it does.
Yeah, it's only just started raining really. It's not been raining for the majority of the game, but yeah, just the last 15 minutes. It's just started pelting it down with rain. So.
Right, Tom, I'll let you go. I'll let you get somewhere nice and dry. Thank you very much. Right, not much going on. We're starting to come into the full times now in the well, just everywhere around the UK. Newport, Wimbledon 1-1 final score. Watford have won 3-0 against Birmingham. Solihull Moors has scored right at the end to make it 3-1 against Scunthorpe. Notts County game. What's going on over there?
About 40 seconds left. Eastleigh it's so disappointing because they played so well in that first half. I know they got a penalty, but they held their own and they just let it go. And maybe Notts County did turn it up a pace or two. But yeah, I had to give my man of the match to Ruben Rodriguez tonight, despite missing his penalty. He still has 2 goals. And he's just popping up everywhere in that middle of the pitch and attacking and creating chances for Langstaff. But yeah, so it's a disappointing night for Eastleigh for what could have been, but I suppose promotion hopes for Notts County. So about 10 seconds to go here, 3-1 Notts County.
Good stuff. As that game comes into the close, plenty of other games around the country also come into the close. Wigan have drawn against Coventry. Blackpool have absolutely thumped QPR 6-1. Burton Albion have lost to Peterborough 5-2. Solihull Moors have beaten Scunthorpe 3-1. As the full times start to come from all across the nation. And right at the end, there's been a goal at Farnborough. Liam Harding, what has happened?
If you thought there couldn't be an even bigger turnaround in the game, it's 2-2! And quite frankly, the snappy goal when the Farnborough Bugs and he's tucked away by James McCarthy, not the Wigan player, but the Havant player. And it's been scrappy all night, but that just summed it up. That's all. And that's a full-time whistle.
Good stuff. Thank you very much, Liam. 2-2 at Farnborough. What a man. What a man.
I'm jealous.
I am jealous as well. To be fair, I do feel a bit sorry for you. I'm not going to lie. Esben.
A chance for Stoke maybe here, but well, I say maybe, it's already happened. Tyrese Campbell on the left, once again getting a ball into the final third, played it into Will Smallbone, but he hit it with his right foot. It was never really a right-footed shot. He tried to use it almost like a trivela with the outside of his boot, trying to find the near post, but it was well blocked. And the best news of the night for Stoke is Ben Pearson has just been subbed off. Jordan Thompson has come on.
Ben Pearson, not exactly put in the best of performances on T-side. Right, we can go to Emma, where the Romsey game has just finished. Let's get the full-time update from Emma. Emma.
Hi, Sam. Yes, the game is now over. Romsey won 6-0, so that was sad walking away from the home field. And honestly, I'm a bit shaky from that pint, and it's just making me really chilly, so I'm very excited to get into the car and warm up. But overall, I had a great night, and I'm so excited to, come back and do it all again another time.
So what kind of would you say was kind of your main takeaway from the whole day, from the start to finish?
Well, I think my main takeaway would be to be able to take it in so close to where the players were. It really is like nothing I've ever experienced before, and it was so cool to have the players speak to you. Like the ball would go out and then someone would go and get it, and then it's like, here you go, and then they're like, thanks. It just was it felt so homey kind of thing. So it made the 6-0 loss a little bit brighter because everyone was kind of in good spirits anyways.
And I'm sure you will be on your way to the pub to have another pint, of course.
It's definitely on the list.
Thank you very much, Emma. That's Emma from Romsey. It's full time from Millwall. We'll just quickly go to Owen.
We're good.
Owen.
Okay, let's go.
Then it's another win at home for the home side, but it should have been 2-2. Swansea had 3 or 4 huge chances at the end. There's one that was laid on an absolute paper for Pirro, who just absolutely did not finish his dinner at all. Oliver Nitcham looks awful. He fluttered one wide very late on. It's been sort of sums up his game today, but Millwall held on for 3 points.
Obviously, Millwall keep their good home record. What do you think went wrong for Swansea today?
They looked really, really flaky in front of both goals, I have to say. They struggled to get the ball out of their own box, and when they got it into Millwall's box, they just didn't want to hit the target at all. The net should have been bulging multiple times for Swansea. They just could not get the shot off the boot tonight.
Love it. Well, thank you, Owen. From Millwall, have fun leaving the den at that time. Some big chances I've heard over at the Middlesbrough-Stoke game. Ollie, looks like it's starting to liven up a bit over there on Teesside.
I was going to say, it's really starting to liven up. The 3 points. It's Stoke that have come so close to going 2-1 up. Zach Steffen take a bow. He made one save earlier on, and then about a minute later, a ball was switched across, a really fantastic ball over to Will Smallbone. It was a one-on-one on the half-volley chance. It looked like he was going to find the far corner, but Steffen made his body as big as possible, all 6'3" of him, and managed to just block it just around the post. But Stoke, definitely, in terms of a footballing perspective, looked like they might be able to snatch 3 points, but it has to be said, Middlesbrough looked dangerous on the counter-attack.
Good stuff. Right, we have a full-time update from Bristol Rovers. Let's see what's going on there, James.
Yeah, it's finished 2-0 here to Wycombe Wanderers. Bristol Rovers will feel a bit hard done by, to be honest. They had, I feel like they had the better of the chances, and they should have at least salvaged a draw from this. Goals from Brandon Handon and Campbell, both taken well. And it's Wycombe that end up with the 3 points here, vital towards their playoff push. They've got a game in hand on the 6th place Bolton now, and 3 points behind. So if they can win their game in hand, they'll go level on points with Bolton, and they would see themselves in the playoff spots.
How do you see?
So big win for Wycombe.
How do you see Wycombe maybe going to that Bolton game? Do you think they'll be going in with confidence now after a win like this?
They don't have Bolton next, but Bolton are 6th place. So if they do win their next game, then they'll be level on points with Bolton.
Right, sorry about that.
They'll bring the momentum into the next game, I'm sure. They'll be really up for it.
Lovely, thank you, James from Bristol. It sounds like another chance from Teesside. What's going on over there?
Yeah, the Riverside looks like the place to be over the last 5 minutes. Paddy McNair almost putting the side 2-1 up. I think it was actually offside, but like I said, no VAR in the Championship. The linesman didn't give it. He was sliding in from a flick-on from a set-piece situation. He was sliding in, but just couldn't direct it goalwards. Change as well for Stoke, coming on is Lewis Baker. He's got the most goal contributions for the Potters this season with 12, 7 of which have been goals. He's come on for Dwight Gale, who's been isolated. He's been pretty anonymous, to be honest, for Stoke this evening. So both teams really think it's there for the taking. It'll be interesting to see just how it fares with about 3.5 minutes left of normal time, and I expect about 3 or 4 left of stoppage time. Right,
quickly we'll just go to Paul, where there is the full-time update from Luke.
Yeah, full time here at Poole. Poole Town won 2-0. A goal from Jake Andrews in added time wrapped up all 3 points for the Dolphins, and now they sit 5th in the table and in the playoff place as well. They defended well for the last half hour after Declan Rose got himself sent off with a straight red card, and a good performance from Poole. 2-0 win over Mother.
How do you think Poole Town will be looking now for the rest of the season? We've lost him from the South Coast, but quickly, just before we maybe come back to him, maybe not, I just want to talk a bit about the Notts County game. Obviously, that's full-time. What's your kind of assessment of the whole game itself?
Well, good news for Notts County, really. They sit 1 point behind Wrexham. Obviously, Wrexham have got a game in hand, and then disappointing night for EC. I thought they were really good in the first half. They got the goal through the penalty and played well, and then just came out the second half, and it's almost like they knew they were going to lose the game, and drops them down to 7th now in the league because Barnet and Boreham Wood have overtaken them, and Chesterfield with a 4-0 win there. I just see being wrapped up. So they're 5 points safe in the promotion playoffs to 8th place Wealdstone. But yeah, disappointing night for EC. But I suppose you can't take too much away. That Notts County are a good team, but hopefully they'll bounce back from this EC and stay in those playoff places.
Right, okay, I think it saddens to say that we have one more final update from Liam, who's there with your Jaffa cakes. Liam.
It was a very emotional night tonight, and as you can see, all 624 spectators behind me have left the ground. And it's not surprised by the volume of my voice tonight, but anyway, regardless of that, Farnborough on the back foot tonight. and haven't scored a goal after 34 minutes, and it's a cracker from outside the box. And then the game was dead for about 40 minutes. It was a game of bumper cars, which is very ironic because if we just look beyond that fence there, they've got...
Oh, no.
But...
Yeah?
Is it still there? Yeah, okay. Definitely had to go. And I tell you what happened. What happened was in the last 5 minutes, Farmer got a goal.
Tell me what happened, Liam.
And then they got a second one. Well, basically what happened was, he chipped the goalkeeper and it went over his head from about 10 yards down the left-hand side of the box. It was a beautiful goal. It was better than Mo Salah's chips. And I tell you what, the second goal got even better when it was scored within the box again. Happens Waterloo, that defence just crumbled and fell. It was like a battle of Waterloo for the fence. But anyway, in the 94th minute, if you thought that it couldn't get any more different, any more difficult for Farnborough, they gave a second goal away. And it was a scrappy goal which summed up the whole game. Because I'll tell you what, right, for 40 minutes, as I said earlier, it was tug of war and bumper cars, and it just went on and on and on, and now it's finished 2-2, and Farnborough could have been within 3 points of the post, but they're not. But I tell you what, right, at least Hampton Waterloo are now 7 games without a win. That's one thing for you. So that's all for tonight. And again, I send my love to Charlotte Arthur tonight, my second mum in disguise for another mother, so thank you. Thank you very much for tonight.
Liam Harding, Jaffa Cakes and football. What is there not to love? Liam, just quickly while I have you.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gone.
No, I'm still here. I'm still here.
So how was how overall? Would you say it was kind of a deserved draw, or do you reckon one of the teams should have come out on top?
I tell you what, I shouldn't be biased, but I did want Farnborough to win, and I thought that they should have really won because they were more composed in the last 10 minutes, albeit the goal they conceded. And quite frankly, they nearly got a third goal. They could have had a fourth goal, but the having goalkeeper denied them from point blank range twice. And quite frankly, to be honest, the 2-2 draw was fair enough because it was 1-0 for a long time and it was going to drag on. And to be quite honest, I think both teams need to use today's result to go forward and improve upon themselves, especially Havant, who, as I say, haven't won in 7 games, and they are still in the playoffs, but only just. So, yeah,
Liam,
that's my roundup for tonight.
Liam, where'd you get your Jaffa Cakes from?
Well, look, I'll tell you what, I actually got them before I came tonight, just from the quick Tesco around the corner. But it wasn't just these I had tonight. I had M&M's, I also had now newly demolished a pack of chocolate fingers, but they were all for everyone else, and not for myself. I'm a selfless man. I'm for the team. I must feed my brothers. So it's a good game.
Lovely. Well, thank you, Liam. You've certainly been my favourite presenter tonight. Thank you. Hope you have a safe trip home.
Thank you. Well done too.
There's been, surprise, there's been a goal at the Etihad, but for who, Reece?
You might as well have blown the final whistle 10 minutes ago because it's been a really dead game. I mean, the full-time whistle's just gone now. Dead, you know. Not enough goals in this game for me, but Kevin De Bruyne's got the ball on the outside of the box and he was fully rested at the weekend against Palace, so he'd be fit for this game. He's been phenomenal today. He just bends the ball into the top right-hand corner, puts it past the keeper who can't even get anywhere near it. Haaland claps him from the bench with a cheeky smile. And, oh my God, it's just yet another goal for Manchester City. And that's the full-time whistle there.
The pick of the bunch, do you think?
That's got to be the best goal.
Gundogan's, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I think that is the best goal. I mean, Haaland picking up the match ball now as we speak. But yeah, take your pick out of all of them tonight. So many goals, 7-0 at the end of the game, 8-1 on aggregate. And I think Man City, they look like the best team in the world right now.
7 goals from City. I'm sure RB Leipzig will be going back to Germany. Not the happiest bunch after a, quite frankly, demolition from that. And obviously, every 7:45 kickoff game now has finished. And of course, they've just heard maybe there's some chances over there in Middlesbrough again. Seems like the game's slightly just out of nowhere for the past 10-15 minutes, just livened up.
Yeah, nothing in terms of clear-cut chances in the last 5 minutes, although Zach Steffen almost had a howler, tried to pick up the ball from a high claim, and just as he came down, he just smacks it onto Paddy McNair, and it rebounded onto towards Tyrese Campbell, but he couldn't quite get it under control. and then he was booked for a bit of dissent, I think, to the referee. But another stat's just popped up. There's been between these two teams, there's been 10 goals scored in the last in stoppage time. Stoke have a corner in the 94th minute. Will Smallbones to take. He has been good from his dead ball delivery so far, so we'll be interested to see if he can get his right-footed in-swinging cross right. You've got Morgan Fox and the likes of Josh Laurent. Ben Wilmot will be a header they'll be looking for. It's gone towards the back post, cleared well by Paddy McNair, and I think this game might just peter out for a 1-1 draw.
Kai, you still with me?
Just about. To be fair to Porto, they've really turned up the last 10 minutes, so they know they're, Champions League is they're going to lose. They're going to be knocked out, tonight if they don't get an equaliser. But they've been pushing. They've had a chance just at the end from Tony Martinez. The ball's floated in. The header's gone towards the back post, and he's free. And he's decided to go for the spectacular in Champions League fashion. Went for the bicycle kick, and he sliced it wide. But other than that, Porto again, much of the second half has been played around the Inter Milan box, but they haven't been clinical enough. They haven't been able to get the final pass off to get the finish. The longer this is going on, obviously, the more likely it looks like it's going to finish 0-0 on the night.
Right. Well, Reece, let's have a little chat. Obviously, full time at the Etihad. Quite a resounding result for Manchester City, who now go into the quarterfinals ecstatic about what's just happened at the Etihad.
Yeah, of course they do. Etihad with so many clean sheets this season. I believe this is the 5th clean sheet in the Champions League for them this season in this campaign, and they've only played 8 games. So they're so tight at the back. But when you've got goals like that pouring just in an abundance from your front line,
it's ridiculous.
There's no need to even defend that well. They're going to outscore everyone they play. The only problem is now is they need to focus, on the Premier League. They're second. They need to win pretty much every game they have now to catch Arsenal. But also focus has to be on the Champions League. Even if they didn't win the Premier League this season and they won the Champions League, I think that would be a success.
Right,
Kai?
I can't believe it, but something's actually happening.
Oh,
something. What's
happening? I've hit the bar twice. The ball's floated in. I've waited all day. It's London buses, isn't it? You wait all day. The ball's floated in. It's headed back and it's bounced around. And he's headed in. To be fair, great save from Onana. Gets down low and the ball's floated back in again. And the header's hit the bar. It's 2 headers in the space of about 10 seconds.
Can't believe it.
What's his name?
Unbelievable.
That's Galeno, actually, mate. That's Galeno. That was Galeno.
Good stuff.
It's full time, by the way, at the Riverside Stadium. Finished 1-1 thanks to the goals from Chuba Akpom. The Stoke City's goal scorer just slipped my mind at the moment, but it's finished 1-0. Middlesbrough now remain 3 points off the automatic promotion spots. Sheffield United on 67, Middlesbrough on 64, but the Blades do have a game in hand, and that's just the second draw under the realm of under the helm of Michael Carrick so far. They'll be disappointed not to come away with 3 points, I think, Middlesbrough, especially after their first half performance. They dominated possession. They had Stoke camped in their own half at times, and the Stoke City players go over to clap their travelling supporters. It's not a really long journey, but the travelling supporters, and I think they'll be quite content with taking a point. Like I said, they're dwindling in and around the mid-table, and they haven't finished in the top half since they've been relegated from the Premier League. I think it's 16th, 15th, and then 14th twice. They're in 14th at the moment, so maybe just another. They're just going to let this season finish. They're in a pretty comfortable position, nothing too exciting, and hopefully, from a Stoke City fan's perspective, they'll go again next season.
Right, well, it's actually a bit further than you think, from Stoke to Middlesbrough.
Are they northwest?
Yeah, and the Stoke's kind of northwest, and Middlesbrough obviously northeast, but quite a bit further up northeast. I'll say a few hours. Anyway, last game of the day that we are still talking about. Kai,
Pepe, the Porto right back, has just been sent off for a second yellow. It's a real shame for the evening because Porto, I think, although they're going to get knocked out, they can hold their heads high. I think the last couple of seasons they've gone toe-to-toe with Europe's elite and really shown that they're a force to be reckoned with. But it's just been a good time-wasting, cynical performance there from Inter Milan to see out the win from a couple of weeks ago. They're just holding it there in the corner now, waiting for the ref to blow the whistle with 30 seconds over time. But it's looking like it's going to be 0-0.
That's 2 Milan clubs now, Kai, that have gone through. What do you think? That's 2 Milan clubs that have gone through now, Kai. How do you think they'll do this season in the Champions League?
I think both teams will struggle. It wasn't a good performance there from Inter, but then again, you could chalk that down to just being a tough away day. AC didn't surprise me. Oh, they didn't show quality. Sorry, the other night. So I don't believe we'll be seeing either of those in the latter stages. But you never know. A team could turn up. A team could always turn up. It's the Champions League.
Right. Well, full time everywhere. We are coming into the final minute of the show, guys. What is everyone's thoughts on tonight's games? We've had some corkers, we've had some sleepers. We have certainly seen some goals. Reece has been absolutely buzzing the entire time.
I think it was a very mediocre game, and next time I'd love to be where Kai's sitting right now.
I agree.
To watch FC Porto.
We've seen goals around the ground. Apart from Kai, we've all seen goals here. So
apart from Kai, we've all had fun.
I think it's been a good night of football for Tuesday night.
The game. I do know it finished 0-0, boys.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, thank you guys for joining me.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been a lot of fun. I also want to say a big thank you to all of our amazing reporters who have gone out to all of the games across the nation. I'd also like to thank you for joining us tonight on Solent Sports News. You can catch us on our social media pages at Solent Sports News. Thank you for joining us. Good night.